How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Pip pip! It's your host, Mikey B, here for episode number
493.
493.
Oh, it rhymes.
Oh, Mikey B, 493.
493 and Mikey
oh,
B.
my, oh, me.
Uh-oh, you know what that means.
We're all
Me
dead.
oh my oh.
Everything's lining up roses. Everything's coming up Mikey B's.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, episode 493. I am your host. With me this week is sorting her business so she can tell us what's it all about. Amy.
That's me. I got a moose pencil in my hair. Thanks, Greg and Sue.
Moose pencil.
I'm glad it's in your hair, not somewhere else.
Telling us that in French it's all about olive oil. It's Andy.
I think Amy really appreciates how fast you get into your introductions.
I do. I love you so much right now. Oh, my God.
Freddie deciding that the podcast is good enough to keep for a while is here this week as well.
That's me. I'm not aborting yet.
Freddie, so it's been a heck of a week, huh, for Patreon?
Yeah, it really has. It's been special.
I miss my husband.
Oh, why do you miss your husband,
Can we
Amy?
call it Patreon? Because I like Patreon instead.
You want to say Patreon?
Yeah.
Patreon.
Patreon.
I like Patron.
Oh, as they say in French, Patreon.
Yeah, it's funny because that's what we're using the money for.
Is Patron.
Yeah.
Patron.
Millie.
Gotcha, guys.
Millie is trying to dig a hole to China over there.
Millie.
Just lay
stop
down, you
it.
dumb dog.
She found all the bottles of Patron.
So, Amy misses me because I've been spending a lot of time working on Patreon.
When Freddie needs projects,
Mhm.
certainly extra now that
Yeah.
his daddy passed away.
What?
Daddy.
And so I am being as, what's the word?
Supportive?
Supportive as I can, but literally every moment of every day is Patreon, Patreon, Patreon. I'm so excited about the Patreon, and I'm excited about it too, but I'm more like, oh God, we're not worthy of all these people's money. He's like, let's get some money, let's do this, let's make stuff, let's make people happy.
Yeah, if you imagine, Freddie is like basically Scrooge McDuck
Mhm.
diving into his pile of gold
but
coins
it's not
right now.
about the money for him, it's about
It's
making
his
this
creative
thing.
outlet and
Yeah.
his creating.
What Patreon is allowing us to
Patreon.
do. Patreon.
Patreon.
Patreon.com
Patreon
/NOTLP.
'Cause I
is,
would like to be fancy on TLP.
it allows us to bring back shows like Film Ad Society, High Five Happy Hour, the new show Night of the Comic with Jason Cretton and Scarecrow, the new show Higher Love with Mikey B.
Give me a higher love.
Which is a personal advice show, which is going to be really great.
Yeah.
First episode coming soon.
Well, hopefully coming soon. We're still working out the details on what that's going to be. I think for the startup, I have some questions already that are brewing, so it'd probably be more me sitting in a room and responding to your question, but hopefully that will evolve into potentially call in.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
that'd
see.
be cool.
That's in the future workings, but hopefully we'll have some responses to some of those questions out there. Some great questions too, by the way.
And
How
we're, yeah.
How do people question you?
Email MikeyB@NOTLP.com.
MIKEYB@NOTLP.
Yes.
Those emails only go to Mikey B, so if it's something you don't want the rest of us to see,
Right.
that it's just him. And if you want to remain anonymous, let him know.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you wanna,
I think
if you
I-
want to,
I've-
express your feelings about Andy, because you know how everybody hates Andy.
Well, it's true.
It's
Just
Oh,
send it to
it's
Mikey
like
B.
it's like a confessional,
it is.
Yeah.
It's,
but we share your stuff.
actually I do have some anonymous stuff. So yeah, I absolutely want to be sensitive to that, and I'm very honored that you want to hear what I have to say on that.
Yeah.
So it'll
He's
be
really good at what he
interesting.
does.
And he
I-
takes it seriously.
I do
It's
take
not
it
a joke.
seriously, so I do want to make sure that everyone out there that knows that might be sending those in it's not counseling. Although I am a clinical counselor, I cannot represent myself that way. I'll simply be giving advice. Counseling would require a lot more feedback and certainly a lot more time. So
Yeah,
you
this
can't
is
can't
for
sue us.
entertainment
disclaimer.
purposes only.
Yes.
Like Frasier.
Baby, I hear the blues calling, tossed salad and scrambled eggs. They're calling again all
I
over my
will hate
face.
coming again
I
if
think
it's or anywhere connected to Frasier.
Yeah, I think the first show that we don't mention Frasier, that's when my head's
No.
going to explode.
I
Like,
actually haven't seen an
yes!
episode in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Can
we're
I
going
tell you
through
that
it.
last
But we
night?
still refer to it every
Doesn't matter,
single
Andy. It's
episode.
important. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Sure.
the because we're going to talk about Niagara today. I was looking at the trivia for Gene Peters.
Yeah.
And one of the bits of trivia at the very end in IMDb was she was a big fan of television, specifically Father Dowling Mysteries and Frasier.
Oh,
It's in her
dear.
IMDb trivia.
And she was the one who was married to Howard Hughes too.
Yeah.
There had to be more great call-in advice other than Frasier. The only other one I can think of is Tara Reid from
Wasn't there Bob Newhart?
Urban Legends.
Wasn't he in the
Urban
the
Legend.
original series? Wasn't he a psychologist?
Well, and then
Or
there
was he a
there was
dentist?
Growing
I
Pains.
can't remember.
Oh, what was the guy's name from Growing
Jason
Pains?
Seaver.
Yeah, Jason
Yeah,
Seaver.
the late great Alan Thicke.
Alan Thicke.
I was
Laying
gonna.
on thick.
I had suggested
with
to
Mikey
Mike
B.
that he call his podcast "This Ain't Frasier," a self-help porn parody.
That was the-
And I was gonna design a logo with like the Cincinnati skyline,
Mhm.
and it was gonna say Frasier, and then
Mhm.
it was gonna say "This Ain't,"
Mhm.
wow.
and then I was gonna record a song where I was gonna be like "Waffles and pancakes too. We're having some breakfast."
All right, let's get.
Okay, I kind of like all of that, but
But
That is
waffles,
really great.
waffles and pancakes go too well together. You need something like tossed out and scrambled eggs that go.
I
There are
see.
juxtapositions.
Higher Love has got to be one of the
Waffles and
greatest songs of
soup.
all
It
time.
really is.
We
Steve
got to
Winwood.
throw down some that we'll let the creative Freddie juices flow all over Higher Love.
Waffles and soup. They're calling again.
Oh, tomato soup and waffles, just like Mom used to
All
make.
over your face.
Yeah.
All over
And all
my
over my
Because
lap.
soup is messy.
You can't see all over my face. It has to be different enough that we can claim all
All
over your
my
lap.
knees.
Yeah, all over my knees.
I was like, how's she eating
Scalding
that
hot
soup?
soup.
It's like, you shouldn't drive and eat soup, Amy.
Oh,
All right, so we're gonna if you go to patreon.com/NOTLP, you'll get to see all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
mhm.
So if you donate at a certain level, which is $25, you get you get we're gonna shout you out.
It's a producer credit.
Yeah, basically.
You are a producer of Night of the Living Podcast. We call you a Beelzebub.
So here's
cool
our
is that?
Beelzebubs. You know what I figured out today, Mikey?
What'd you figure out?
Beelzebub. My dog's name is Elsa.
Beelzebub.
Beelzebub. She's gonna be the devil for Halloween.
Ooh,
Okay.
there was, well, that made. Oh, sorry. This
No,
is
no, no.
important. But that made me. You said something after the movie that we saw on Friday. I know we're doing something special. With
Yeah,
Halloween
we'll be
Alien.
talking about Alien Covenant
Yes.
on the Patreon.
on the Patreon. You said something amazing that we said we have to. It was so good that it needed to be documented on the show. What was
Oh,
it?
Fuck.
You have 5 seconds.
You
have
5
Seconds
to get through
to get through
to the elevator.
to Amy's brain. And the clever
I
thing
don't
she said.
remember. God damn
It
it.
was really good.
Oh, fucking
Just
Evan,
everybody
it's
out there know
terrible.
Amy had a fantastic
That's
one.
a great thing to bring up, Mike.
No problem.
right.
Remember that thing that you talked about that I don't remember? What was that?
It was super good.
I want to talk about these extremely generous people, many of whom I've met in person, and I love your faces. If I have not met you in person and you're doing anything like this, get your ass to Horror Hound so I can
Mhm.
meet you in person.
Oh, do you want to say what else they get besides a producer credit?
They get the other rewards at the Goblin and Leviathan tiers.
And those are a T-shirt that Kelly is designing as we speak. Only patrons get this T-shirt at the $10 and higher level. I think it's going to be like a concert style T-shirt with like, instead of tour dates, we'll have like monthly themes on the back of it. But I'm not 100%, so don't quote me on that. But it's going to be awesome no matter what it is because it's Kelly. He makes great shirts.
And it's going to be hypercolors.
Is it? And patrons will also receive a patron-only. Anyone who donates 5 or more, that's the which level
Mammon?
is that? Mammon. The David Mammon level or higher, you get an enamel pin only for patrons, exclusive, and that design is Kelly is working on right now.
He's a talented man. All
We're
right.
super excited for those.
Our Beelzebubs or
Oh,
Beelzebubs.
The one other thing, the dollar level. Anyone who donates just $1, you get access to all of our Patreon exclusive content, which we are releasing the first episode of each of those Patreon shows for free. So anybody can check them out, see if it's something they're interested in. But then from second on, it's dollar hire donors, and I will put a video out how to access that special RSS feed.
Now, if I had named these tiers, they'd be more like, like the Reba level or the Dolly level.
Reba!
Or the Loretta level, because you know me.
Oh, we could have a second level, could be level 4.
Patsy level.
What level is that?
I think there should be
Second.
a level where we give all of the donators Real Housewife tags. Okay.
Oh, you know what?
Uh-huh.
At the 25 level or higher, we're gonna give you your Real Housewife intro, like from the.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll have to work on that.
That's on you guys.
You know, I'm almost done with the second season of Real Housewives of New York. It's something
Ooh, I'm in
to behold.
4th of the 6 and Beverly Hills from the way that I'm watching it. And there
You're
are some characters in
so-
this season that make no sense
You're
because
That's
they
some weird math.
appear and then disappear. What happened? I
They're
think
dead.
it's Vanderpump.
Lisa had him killed.
Vanderpump makes people
Oh my God.
disappear.
She Vanderpumped him.
Jiggy ate them. Their bodies.
Jiggy?
Who's
Jiggy
Jiggy?
Vanderpumps?
Their dog.
The
Oh,
dog.
okay.
It's Jiggy, right?
Jiggy.
All right. Patreon,
Ow.
25 plus, you get a shout out
Yeah.
on every show, usually at the end. But since this is new, we're going to talk about this. These people are special to me in my heart.
Absolutely. My heart too.
William, do you go by Bill? You probably go by Bill. Billy?
Yes,
Willie
Bill.
Billy?
Bill.
It's funny. He goes by Dave.
Fama.
Blake?
I like that his last name is spelled
We
phonetically.
don't have to go.
Yes, we do.
Blake Heath? You're a funny guy on the Twitters. Mark Watts?
We
What
actually,
up, bro?
yeah, we actually met him.
We met Mark
At the Flying
at
Pig.
the Flying Pig.
And-
He did the half that day.
Yeah.
I
And it
just
was like-
happened to have my NOTLP bag on. He comes walking by and he's like, "Hey,"
What?
and he's from San Antonio, right, or somewhere down in the
It
Texas.
was like one of those small world type things.
Mhm.
It was really one of those
was
kismet
really cool.
magical things.
Yeah. Michael Powell. It's next. Do you go by Mikey as well? Do you want to be a Mike? Do you want to be a Cull? Cull.
Cool.
Cool, dude.
Our BFF Jeremy Burmeister, who's the best. Love that dude.
He and Cassie had the best wedding.
Mhm.
Yes, they did.
Beetlejuice theme.
Yeah.
And we've known him. Am I cut off?
Andy, what'd you do?
Something happened to me too.
Sorry.
Is everybody recording?
Are we
Yeah.
gone?
Okay.
Are we good?
Sorry, I forgot to hit the button on
Yeah.
Andy for a second.
And we've known him as long as the show's been
That's
on.
true.
Since he's a wee babe.
Yeah.
We got Slide Wallace,
Mhm.
Electric slide?
Electric Slide
Woogie woogie
Wallace.
woogie ooh.
Kelly's Lady Love, of course. Commanda, who we just met at Horror Hound, is
Aw,
awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Ernest Perez, who we've known forever, and is an extremely generous dude, and I love him.
Also a creative guy, filmmaker who knows what it's like. He gets it.
Hmm And Jim Bolding. Do you want to be Jimmy? Do you want to be Jimmeroo? Do you want to be
Jimmeroo.
Jiminy Cricket?
Jimmeroo.
You just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
And those are our Leviathans.
Beelzebub.
Beelzebubs.
Amy, get your demon rankings correct.
Freddie, I'm going to stab you straight in your
Lord.
goddamn taint. Straight in the taint!
You need to visit hell again. So that you can be like, now how's this work? Are you a master sergeant?
You can go through the HR training in hell again.
All
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Get
So
your
that's-
levels right.
That's the Patreon
That's
shit.
pretty amazing.
When do Andy
What
and
a
I
kindness.
get... I know.
We
it's
met our
really
second
special.
goal overnight, which is something we set out to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it happened. Which makes me think that we're going to set out, we are officially working towards goal 3 now. And what goal 3 means is beyond covering all the costs of doing the show,
Freddie's going to
We
individually visit
grow.
every one of your houses.
no, but we will visit some of your towns, and we will come cover film festivals and conventions if we meet that third goal.
Can I list
yeah,
places I don't want to go?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to base it upon our highest concentration of downloads and stuff like that,
I don't want to go to
geographically.
like...
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, don't make me go. I'm sorry,
Well,
Amanda.
you've already
Sorry.
been once.
Sorry, Amanda and Becky. I don't want to go there.
Well, it might happen. It depends on where the show is most popular. We'll visit those places first.
Ooh, we should troll Pittsburgh listeners. Like, we don't want to
Yeah.
come to your city. And we get a big rush of donations
Well,
from
I
Pittsburgh.
know that one of my favorite shows is the Halloween Haunts, and I know Pittsburgh has
Yeah.
some amazing
Yeah,
haunts
Pennsylvania
that
is
I've
pretty
never
good.
gotten to see. So
This is
that'd
right.
be pretty cool.
So that's also where some of those resources will go, is to
I
going
don't
to
want to go north in the winter.
Okay. Those special over-the-top haunts around the country and world. And international travel is on the table. We all have our passports.
I
So-
don't want to go. I just don't feel like there's places.
How
in
fa-
Texas
how
I don't
far
wanna
north?
go. Like, I don't want to go to Minnesota in the middle of February. Don't make me do it. Don't make me
Minnesota.
sing.
Well, the nice thing about cons is usually there's con season, and con season tends to be in the
Warmer
Like spring
months.
and fall.
warmer months. Yes.
Do you know where I want to go?
Where do you want to go?
Orlando. What y'all got down there?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard there's stuff.
Well, yeah, that's a possibility. A Disney World meetup or a Universal Studios meetup. We'll figure all this out when we get to goal
All right.
3. But the
Anyway.
number 1 thing on the goal number 3 list is the Toronto International Film Festival, and the reason why is the Midnight Madness portion of that film festival has been festival. It has all those syllables. Has been debuting a ton of awesome genre movies, and we want to be out there to cover them.
I want to go to Sundance.
Yeah.
And Sundance.
I want to go to Sundance.
And Slam Dance.
That's gonna be the
And
name
Safety
of
Dance.
my first dog.
Sundance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've decided? Do you have to
Just-
find a dog that fits the name?
Yeah, that's what's
Probably going to
that's what's taking
be...
some
It's not
time.
gonna be a Shih
Sundance
Tzu.
would be like either a Golden Retriever or a Yellow Lab
Mhm.
with a name like Sundance.
One step closer.
All right, so Andy and I need to talk to you guys about something.
Yeah, let's get all that bullshit out the way.
Yeah.
We need to talk about some important stuff.
You didn't come here for that nonsense. You came here for our review of Boyz II Men, Paula Abdul, and New Kids on the Motherfucking
Oh.
Block.
The total package tour.
You gotta straight up now tell us, you guys.
Straight up now tell me. Freddie, how many times have I just looked at you and went, you got to remember?
She's been doing that every day since the concert, and she complains about me working on the Patreon too much. She's like, you got to remember, you got to take out the garbage.
Where you going? What you
I'm going to
doing?
get my water bottle.
Okay, well,
I figured this was a good time for that.
All right.
Water bottle.
You didn't remember your water bottle? You got to remember.
You're forever hydrated. All right, Andy, what do we got?
Okay, it started off like, okay, the to thank Amy for getting through tickets through work. The best
Free.
tickets are free tickets, guys.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't think we would have paid to see this otherwise.
You know, it ended up on Groupon that like
Yeah.
the day before for like $20 a ticket. Still probably
Yeah.
would have paid. Like if it was 20 with all fees inclusive, maybe.
Okay, but that's before we saw the concert.
Right.
After we saw it, I was like, I'll pay 20.
Yeah, I would too.
Didn't you tell me that Donnie Wahlberg dropped the F-bomb?
He did.
Why does that feel wrong?
Don't jump the gun on us.
Yeah,
we got
Freddie,
yeah.
come on.
Oh, okay.
We gotta
Sorry.
work up to New Kids. We gotta tease you a little bit with
Spoilers.
Boyz II Men. We gotta edge you a little
Oh.
bit.
Boyz II Men had the they came out first,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I love them. They're my favorite of all 3.
They had the most stripped down set. It was just
Yeah.
basically
Were they in their
them.
BBDs?
It was just them and
Baby,
microphones basically.
Yeah.
And then Roses later.
Yeah.
But they came out to Motown Philly, and I really wish they had kind of ended with Motown Philly. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
And you know, I was kind of wary about Boyz II Men because a lot of their songs are ballads,
Yeah.
and like you can't really like have fun with that at a concert.
It's so hard to say goodbye
Yeah.
to yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did they
mother.
perform that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were people
That's
crying?
not the one they did a cappella? No. That was End of the Road. Wait, when did they? Doesn't matter.
Didn't
Go
matter.
on.
And yeah, I was like, but when they started singing, like, wow, I kept remembering all these big
Yeah.
hits they had. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
they were huge.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were.
They were really
Mhm.
good.
And there was in the middle of their set, they whipped out some Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, like two of the dudes.
When you're not allowed to say whips out some Lenny Kravitz anymore
That's
after what
true.
happened.
That is the funniest gif on the internet. It's his wiener just flopping out.
Did his dick fall out?
You didn't
hear about this?
No.
Oh,
I'll
you
find
gotta
it
see
for
it.
you.
Yeah.
His dick, not just like his.
No, his pants split and his dick flopped out.
Oh,
He's well endowed, as it turns out. It kind of tapped the ground.
so I guess no.
Well, he was kneeling down.
Oh.
Yeah, kneeling. He was kneeling down, and his dick touched the ground. That's not big.
Damn.
Well, I mean that's a win-win. If he'd been the cursed.
So Lisa
That would be
Bonet done fucked
embarrassing.
up, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
But she got on that Jason Momoa dick. So like,
She's
is it
fine.
We don't know
She's gonna
about
be
Momoa's
fine.
is
dick.
it like moving up or
She's gonna be fine.
about equal level?
This could be
I
fun.
don't know.
Anyway, like they whipped out some electric guitars.
Yeah, they like played. And
And,
they did a bunch of Lenny Kravitz and a Bruno Mars song.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of strange.
It was fun though. Like,
Yeah.
hey, it's like they're more than just like a doo-wop band.
Right.
And they never met a note they didn't like.
Oh my god, they were
Yeah.
like, "Rah."
Was it
It
too many
runs.
runs? Is that what you're
So many
saying?
It's a lot. It was. I was tired at the end because there was so much runs.
Yeah.
I got the runs.
Or like there
after
were
that
cheap
show.
stockings. A lot of runs in them.
Ah.
Oh, that's a very gay analogy.
Why can I only find the clean Lenny Kravitz gif?
They covered it up.
There's a clean
I'll
one?
find it. Well,
Well,
they put like a little emoji over his dick.
you
right.
mean a big emoji.
Whatever.
So Boyz II Men, they were really good. They were really good. And then Paula Abdul came out.
I
And
did not. We
honestly,
did not
I wasn't
expect much.
expecting much from her because bitch is 54,
Yeah,
and we know that she's not known for her voice.
right. Which she for sure was lip syncing the entire
Yeah.
time. That was fine. That was fine though because she had dancers. She worked it out. She danced hard. Like she was
Lord.
fantastic.
Do you think it was straight up lip sync, or did she have a backup track?
No, she was straight up lip syncing because
Yeah.
when she did talk, she was so muffled and low. I had no idea what she was saying.
Ah, okay.
She also had a giant switch that she had to flip. And down the bottom it said pre-recorded tracks, and the top said live audio. And it was like one of those Frankenstein wall switches, and she's like,
Okay, I don't interrupt. Like I'm watching this GIF of GIF. I'm sorry.
GIF.
Of
Choosy
Lenny
moms choose
Kravitz,
gifs.
and
Yeah.
his dick. He's like crouching down, and his dick
Yeah.
flopped out. Looks like a dookie coming out of his ass.
it kind of does look like he took a shit.
Doesn't it?
Hold on.
Oh, wait, his wiener wasn't as big as I remembered it.
But it doesn't. It still looks like he's taking a
Oh.
shit, right?
Freddie Shade Kravitz.
In my imagination, in my memory,
It's running away again.
it like taps the ground and bounces back up into his pants.
It hit his head.
Yeah, like one of those in a cartoon when someone has like the window shade. It's
Yeah.
like,
So Paula
no,
had a really good screen, like the screen, like the back, like there was a lot of interaction with the screen, and it was really interesting graphics and things.
Ooh, I
was
know
so
where this is
clear.
going.
It was
I'm
really clean.
I bet I know where it's going.
Where?
With a screen.
Well, MC Scat Cat comes out,
ah.
and he's on the screen, and she's interacting with it. It was really neat, right?
And at one point, there were giant Paulas
Yeah.
on the screen too.
Were there also Paula Poundstones?
Yeah.
Paula's Poundstone.
All of the
They're Paula
Paulas.
Deans.
Oh, we've seen a giant Paula Deen.
Well, she's giant anyway, so.
Yeah. Well,
Not anymore. She got tiny, right?
puffed up with racism, but there's a. What song was it that she climbed that ladder at the end? This
I think it was straight up.
Fuck the police.
This huge ladder. Fuck the police. Yeah, she did that. It was what 10
At
8
least
foot
10,
tall.
15 feet.
Yeah, like it was really tall. She climbs all the way to the top of it and then just dives off of it into her dancers
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
hands.
She did a swan dive off of it, and they caught her.
And she was like, ah, 50.
But no,
lights
after
go
they
off.
caught her, the lights go off, and we're like, oh my god, she's dead.
And then it's like it's dark and nothing's happening for like 30 seconds. I'm like, oh god, is she okay? Is she okay? Is she okay? Okay, what happened?
But then she
Aw.
gets up and like kills it again.
She was really great. She was dancing, lip syncing her life.
And
For her
yeah,
life?
and before the show, like Amy and I are talking about, if she plays "Promise of a New Day," our heads are gonna explode.
Ugh.
And
This
but
is
she
the only
didn't play the whole
disappointment.
song.
Yeah.
They play a little bit of do
Yeah.
do 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 do.
And then
do.
the whole concert, me and Amy were just like, it's me turning my head at
Yeah.
her and like, ah!
We're like, oh my god, oh my god! And we turned to each other at that moment. We're like, ah! We screamed so loud, and the ladies that were next to us were like, "The fuck is wrong with these people?" But then she didn't play it.
Yeah.
While they were at that, I was watching The Devil's Candy with my family.
Mm-hmm.
It was
We're
great.
not done.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I
The
feel.
synergy that
Hey,
was
Freddie.
happening.
Hey, Freddie, it's not about you.
Yeah, I
Okay?
just
It's
just
not
thought
about
I would
you.
pepper a little bit of horror into your
No,
your 80s.
Okay,
Okay.
when have we
90s.
ever talked about horror on this show?
Freddie, eat Lenny Kravitz's dick.
I can't.
That-
I don't
He's
have
gonna
enough
need,
room.
He's gonna need a doggy bag because it's gonna be leftovers.
Too much dick.
Can't do that much dick in one sitting.
All right, I thought
My
Paula was
eyes were
fantastic.
bigger than Lenny
Sorry.
Kravitz's dick.
I filled up on balls. I'm sorry, I need a box.
And the same,
Did you save room for ass?
the same. You know, Paula she deserves a Las Vegas residency.
Oh wow.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
if
say
Brit-
it.
Yeah.
like
a woman of
because
letters.
Brittany has one, and
Yeah.
we know that she's not the best singer either.
she's lip syncing too.
But we don't watch Brittany and Paula for the singing.
No.
We watch them for like the shaking.
Mm-hmm. They asked. And then the New Kids came on. Here's what I know about the New Kids.
They had a lot of hits.
Thirsty.
Chinese food makes me sick.
I think
They
it's
are
Fly One Girl
They're
thirsty.
Five or something.
dehydrated.
They run on pure ladies screaming in adoration, and Joey kept pulling his shirt up and showing his
my
nipples and
God.
stuff.
You know, he has a good. He's like 45, 47. He's a
Yeah.
good body for.
Sure,
Yeah.
but like, put your shirt down, dude. It was they thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
We left pretty early on into the set because turns out I don't
Because
know a lot
we've
of it.
seen them before. So.
Yeah, and they're playing songs I've never fucking
Yeah.
heard my entire life.
My ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling is the cutest thing. Bye, bye, bye.
That's
Yeah.
that's in sync.
I know.
Oh.
Get outta here.
I feel like you're making fun of us, Freddie.
Yeah.
But if Boyz II Men covered Lenny Kravitz, it's not a stretch to think that New Kids on the Block covered a My
that's
Ding-a-Ling
No, it's not. Was Chuck Berry there?
mashup.
Just out of
Chuck Berry's bones were
curiosity,
there.
New Kids on the Block.
Had a bunch of hits.
And Chinese food does not make me sick. I like it.
Me too.
However, what I really want to know is,
Uh-huh.
Are you going to go my way?
thank you, Freddie, is how much of the New Kids on the Block set was spent playing to the women?
All of it.
All of it.
Okay, so were there a lot of like talk? I had a friend of the my buddy Matt. He saw like there was like another boy band thing that happened. I think Boyz II Men and New Kids and somebody else was a part of it a couple years ago.
Yeah, they had yeah.
And
they've
said
been
there
out
was
a
a
lot.
lot of time spent with the boy bands being highly inappropriate, flirting with
Well,
the
yeah.
now probably teenagers at the time who are now
Moms.
women, moms.
Yeah, like they were all out in the crowd. Like
There's a lot of crotch thrusting.
Yeah.
But it was cool because Jonathan, he's the gay one. Every band has one.
yeah.
Did he turn around?
No, he was the only one that didn't thrust.
No, he didn't. You know what? I was
Oh.
proud of him. Good. Live in your truth, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to pretend to fuck these ladies.
Yeah, and
so don't.
and everybody, all the other new kids, they had like really tight tank tops on. He
Yep.
just had a t-shirt.
Mhm.
I'm like, good for you, Jonathan.
Which one was the one that had the anxiety disorder?
That's Jonathan.
Was it
Yeah.
Jonathan? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a Mandor.
there you
Yeah.
go. Andrew.
But you said something about playing up to the woman. Like all the choreography was very sexual.
Yes.
And at one point, they had this one move.
Oh God, they just kept doing it where they put their hands down like you're pushing it. You know.
Pushing the lady's head down.
Yeah, and they kept doing it over. It's like we know
like,
what you're
like
doing, new
this,
kids.
like this.
Yeah, they're minding like pushing the head down to give a blowjob.
Well, in all
Am I sexual?
That is Backstreet Boys.
I know.
it-
And I swear
That's
by the light.
I don't even
That's all
remember
for
who-
one.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
And later, the
Digital,
country
digital,
singer
get
did it.
down.
Take the last train to Clarksville.
That's the Monkeys, baby.
Oh, okay.
That was my first concert.
Oh, the
First boy
monkeys? Hey.
For the Monkeys.
There it is. In all fairness, though, that move really is open sexual move. I mean,
Yeah,
it could
the-
really
it-
work on woman.
It
So
can
Jonathan
go on
did
both,
it.
but like if
Yeah.
you look at the makeup of the crowd,
It was full on ladies.
Did all the ladies comply? Like everyone stood there. They just started going down like the whole audience.
but I was actually impressed because they actually got up in the audience,
They were up in
all
Oh,
it.
up in the
wow.
guts,
Oh,
Yeah.
Got up
the
in it.
audience's guts.
and they let people touch him and everything. They were
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
selfies with everybody. It was really like interactive.
Yep. I mean, they were. I like that they're leaning into it. They're like, you know, this is what we know. We're not. And they're still making new music. They're doing their thing. Good for you. There's still a crowd out there that loves it. That place was pretty packed.
Feels like a show that belongs in like Branson, Missouri, as like a long-term
Go
Yeah.
see
show.
the new
That's
kids.
probably our retirement. That show will
Yeah,
exist.
You're probably right.
But and
Did I say that right, Branson? It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
Branson, right?
Missouri.
Danny, he broke danced.
He broke.
Is that the past tense of break dance?
No,
Break
it's just
dance.
break dance.
He broke
He
dance.
broke his dance.
He broke it.
You broke it down.
He is
Wow.
actually impressive.
Did they
He
bring
did-
out
he did, like,
cardboard for him to do it
backspins.
on?
No,
No.
like he was catering to the crowd because he put on a red Cincinnati Reds shirt on.
Yeah. They kept going, hello, Cincinnati.
Oh, and tell him about Donnie dropping the F bomb.
So he said something like, I want to make it, we want to get fucking happy again or something. And then they,
Ooh.
He's
That's
like,
kind of-
too much sad, more happy. Watch Blue Bloods on ABC,
CBS, honey.
CBS, y'all.
and he's like, stop getting so many vaccines. My wife says it's bad. All right. Tonight,
Yeah, he dropped a big F-bomb, and you made Amy like, "Oh my god!"
How dare. Now, I saw the New Kids back in '88, probably.
So did I. Did you see
Yeah.
him in Cincinnati?
No, I saw him in New
Okay.
Jersey because I was visiting my grandpa, and he got me tickets.
Jersey.
So I saw him at the Meadowlands. And all I remember is being so high in the stadium that they look like ants to me. But I don't remember if they cursed back then. I couldn't tell you.
Oh, that'd be naughty.
I was 8 years old.
Their audience was little girls.
Yeah, we left though because like they played Right Stuff, and I'm like, good enough. Bye. They played their new song. I'm like,
Ooh, was it not
stop.
good?
Yeah, I don't know. That was the blowjob move song.
Oh,
We draw the line at my blowjobs. Yeah.
Am I the only one? I would see the back. They toured last year or year before.
I think that's
With the
the one.
Backstreet
I would
Boys.
see Backstreet over NSYNC.
I think I.
Yeah.
Ooh, I forgot those were two separate things.
Wow.
You were thinking of In Black.
Which one's Joey Fatone on?
NSYNC.
Okay.
I would see them
He's got a hot dog shop now.
if I had to
Oh,
choose.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I would choose NSYNC over
Is it called Fat
Backstreet.
Ones?
Yeah,
I
I
think
it is,
so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I said I would probably pick NSYNC over Backstreet Boys, but Backstreet Boys are the ones I'm gonna see. You're never gonna see NSYNC tour again.
It's
ever.
funny. I can name all the NSYNCers, but I can't name all the Backstreet Boys.
Howie,
Did they?
Okay.
Brian, Nick,
Kevin,
Kevin, and
AJ.
AJ.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Did either of you have New Kids merchandise?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Bed
have a
sheets?
nightmare about this. Then when I was that age,
You were like, oh my god.
I was like, this is not Judas Priest. Thank you.
Come on, feel that noise.
I had a one of the giant buttons, and I had
I think I
a
had one of those. I had T-shirts for sure.
like the Barbie style dolls of Jordan.
Oh my goodness.
Took it in the shower a little bit.
Did you pop its head off like you did with the Barbies?
Okay, you don't have to tell us everything.
Which
Andy.
was the one, the boy band that had a little bit of success for a second that was on the MTV show Making the Band?
JC
O-Town?
Chazé?
No,
Was it
that was
O-Town?
O-Town, right?
O-Town. What was
Yeah.
their big?
Ashley Angel. Was that him? That
I think so. Liquid Dreams, right? Is
Yes.
that right? Oh my God! Why do I
Liquid
know all this
Dreams.
shit? I swear to God, I have cred in other areas of my life.
I want to
right?
hear that song. I need to hear that song.
Am I a
right
cool
now.
person?
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's because of it's all of it that makes you so cool. It's everything that makes up Amy. Makes you so
But
cool.
if you want to go back on a deep cut,
Mhm.
like boy band, girl band, anybody remember Eden's Crush?
Yes.
No.
It had like a making of the band type thing. It was on
Yes.
either CW or WB.
Wow.
What was their song? Didn't
It's
they
like
have a
they had that one song, "Get Over Yourself, Goodbye."
What?
mm,
I don't
Anyway,
remember that.
Liquid
Amy, get over
Dreams?
yourself, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Did NSYNC ever do like an album cover where they were all little baby versions of themselves getting baths in sinks? Because
Because they're in sync.
that would have been the cutest thing, and I would have bought every album.
That seems
And
like a
little
cartoon
Justin
there.
Timberlake.
Will Justin Timberlake.
Did you go behind little
We-
Justin
we-
Timberlake's ears?
We could do it. There's 5 of us, and there's 5 in syncers.
That's
There
true.
it is.
And we
Joy
could just
Fatone.
Photoshop ourselves on cute little babies.
NSYNC.
It's gonna drive me crazy, Amy. Can you please at least give me a little bit of what Liquid Dreams was?
It wasn't that the one where they name dropped a little in that. I just pulled my
Was it
phone
about
up and
having a
Lenny
wet dream?
Kravitz's dick keeps plopping out. Is it about having a wet dream? Sure. Why wouldn't it be?
Okay,
Right? Isn't that Liquid Dreams? Right?
I guess.
Are we gonna have time to talk about the movies? Because we also have to do Alien Covenant.
Oh my god.
Well,
And Mike has somewhere to be.
All right,
Oh my god.
Freddie. You know what? I'm sorry that this isn't about what you want it to be about.
I don't care as long as it's about what.
Isn't
the
it
listeners
funny
want
that
it to be about.
Freddie is like telling us about keeping on the
I
show,
know. Well,
and
I'm
he's-
just worried about running out of time. Is
and
all.
he's the king of derailing?
She's playing that right into her microphone.
Are we gonna have to pay for this?
I don't
No.
know.
Is it fair use yet?
I think we're commenting on it. It's okay.
Oh, here it comes. Ooh, I don't remember this.
I don't remember this at all.
This sounds like something from American Dad.
Did this
All
happen?
right.
I don't
It
think
did.
it happened.
It's not real.
Didn't Lou
Okay.
Pearlman take all their money anyways, and he's
And
in jail
then
now? So
abused them.
it's all
and
good.
I think he touched them
and
too.
Oh, my
didn't he?
nuts. You guys just gave me testicular torsion.
Okay.
Testicular torsion.
We're going to move on. Are you ready?
Yeah, my nuts hurt.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
And we're back, kiddos. All right, Mikey B.
I got picked by natural selection this time to watch the movie.
It's a very long process. Natural selection.
Took generations.
The Disappointments Room.
20,000
right.
years of evolution.
Mhm.
Mike finally got picked to watch it.
I did. I was just pulling it up because I'm awful with names. Anybody that knows me, I'm really awful with names. The only one I guess that's really important in this one is Kate Beckinsale, and she is gorgeous in this film.
Beckinsale.
However,
I always like Beckinsale's better than paying full price.
For Beckons.
I like my Beckinsale's half off.
She is gorgeous.
She is, and then this movie, there's like a total change up, a change of face. In this movie, actually, okay, I'm a little thrown off right now because I'm about to tell you something. For my first natural selection, I love this film.
Woo!
Oh,
I
wow.
did. I really, really did.
So don't spoil it.
You're the first person who's told me this.
I am, because now I'm a little bit shocked because of the score on the film on IMDb is a 3.9 out of 10. So
Live your truth, man.
Yeah,
Love what you love.
Love what you
I'm
love.
gonna love what I love. So I was in the right mood for it too. It's a fantastic ghost story like film. So you're trying to figure out what's going on. You have the main character Kate Beckinsale is had some kind of Oh, sorry.
What are you doing,
Andy cut himself.
Andy's trying to send
No,
himself
I
to the
did. I
disappointments room.
nicked myself. There's a difference.
Will you put the fucking Swiss Army knife down?
I can't help it, Amy. I'm a child.
He needs a fidget.
You do need a fidget.
So Kate Beckinsale is Dana
Why
Barrow.
do you have
Dana-
knives out for people just to play with?
Dana Barrow, and all you really know is that she has undergone some tragedy that they're moving away from, and so I
Is
think,
it a dead kid? It's always a dead kid in these movies.
He doesn't want to spoil.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil
It's okay.
it because it's all important, but yeah, you can. I think part of the problem with this film is it is pretty easy to figure out most of what's happening in the film, but it's done really well, and there's a lot of not a lot, but it's a well-paced ghost story movie where things happen. There's some good jump scares.
Is it like more of a serious one than like a straight up, like Insidious, or what's the other one? Malicious?
Malicious. Unpleasant.
The Conjuring.
Conjuring, or something like those family,
Yeah.
like
I mean, there's
horror stories are very popular now.
It's not that scary to me. This is like a chamomile tea ghost story.
It's
like-
a cozy.
It's a cozy ghost story. So there is some kind of bloody stuff in it, but I wouldn't. It is a good all around ghost story. I would kind of put it up there with what was the I'm Pretty. And
Pretty thing that lives in that house?
No, the oh my gosh. The ghost story with Tom
stuff.
Cruise's ex-wife.
Oh, The Others.
The
The
others.
Others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
others.
one of those classy horror movies, right?
Yes, it's a classy,
Doesn't
very,
show any penetration.
very stylized.
It teases you about it. Like, is that what I think it's gonna happen? Oh
Yeah.
no.
Very stylized. I think some of it is a little ripped off from movies like The Orphanage, but really a pretty film to watch, and I was highly entertained all the way through it. I wasn't expecting much. I was expecting to be disappointed in my
your
room.
room.
Oh, yes! Oh, that was so good, Amy.
I don't know. It's too easy to make disappointing jokes when it's in the title.
Yeah, but they still have to be done.
The
Andy,
best,
I'm disappointed in you
the
for
best
being
one I've
disappointed.
heard so far was still Fozzie's. This is what his dad called the room he built for Fozzie's trophies.
That is really
His
good.
sports trophies.
That
Yeah.
is really good. So I'm interested to hear what Fozzie, when he heard about that I got this movie, he was very excited, but he did not want to tell me anything. So I don't know if he was very excited because he thought I was
he
going to think it
hated
was
it or he loved
awful
it?
or good. So I'll have to find out now. But yes, I really,
I'm gonna see that little son of a bitch in a few days.
yeah.
Person. I'm excited about it.
And give him what for?
Excuse me, you made me cough.
What
Yes,
for with
so we'll get to talk all
love.
about we'll get to build a disappointments room and put some people
Yeah.
into it. But so yeah, it's a really good. It's very twisty. You're trying to figure out what's going on. Some of the
I
story.
thought about some lady that can't get pregnant, and she calls it the disappointment's womb.
That's
Oh.
sad.
Wow,
sad.
Andy! Jesus!
I just laughed about people not being able to conceive.
You're a monster.
He
Okay.
also said that Nazis are cool.
We need a palate cleanser after that.
Woo! You know, people often tell me that Andy, he's so sweet, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you do not know him like I know him. Because this shit, that's tip of the iceberg, yo. Slytherin.
I'm just trying to bring up the issue of people
Oh, never
having
mind.
trouble to conceive.
You're
It's a
amazing.
big thing for people.
It's a conversation starter.
All Mike's doing the Andy right now.
Starting a
I'm
dialogue.
showing my disappointments room.
Let's put all of our
Um,
legs up in the air.
I'm
Yes.
too stiff right now.
Oh.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Was it seeing that Lenny Kravitz
Yeah.
On repeat.
and talking about infertile women?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of disappointments, like you guys built his dick up so big,
I know.
Freddie did.
I was-
That's Freddie's
Well,
fault.
it was my imagination filled it in.
and then I saw it, I was like, it's a dick.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't that big.
Well-
I was kind of like, you know what it is? You know who else has a giant schlong penis? Is
Mom.
Antonio Banderas.
Does he?
I
When'd you see
remember him
that?
having a big neenie.
Nini? A Nini?
A big
Oh, teeny weeny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the premise of the movie again is it is a family ghost story,
Yeah.
and you are trying to figure out what they've moved into this new gigantic beautiful house.
Good house porn.
Good house. Oh, very good house porn.
Yes.
Kate Beckinsale plays an architect.
Like nobody is that in real life. Remember?
And I think there's kind of a joke in the film about her being an architect. but
She
it's-
like, I architected this house.
Uh-huh. And they have a son who's kind of creepy, and then strange things happen in the house, and then there's this whole exploration of the house and house porn and trying to figure out what's going on while
How's
creepy
the
things are
porch? Is it a good
happening.
porch?
Yes.
Is the kid the only one that can see the ghost at first?
No. Nope.
Oh, I like how they went there.
It's
yeah.
well.
Because
It's the
normally,
little differences.
because normally it's always the kid. Like it's like, who are you talking to? And it's like, what are you staring at, Sonny?
I want to know what your insides look like.
Mhm.
I'm your doctor.
Well, Kate Beckinsale is the movie really, because you're trying to figure out whether or not is she seeing real stuff, or is it because she's had something awful happen that she's got her brain's a little cracked. So yeah,
Cracked up brain.
she got cracked up brain. Yeah. So but yeah, I thought it was very fun, and I'm not gonna spoil any more of it. I think you should watch it. It's a fun. You're not gonna be like, this is the best thing ever, but you are gonna have a good time.
Well, there you go. Money back guaranteed.
Money back guarantee. So thank you, Amy, for picking a good
You're
one for me to
welcome.
take my first bullet.
Let's
Yeah.
see whose life I can fuck up
Hey,
now.
If you're interested to see how Amy does all this,
Oh yeah.
go to patreon.com/NFTLP.
You can see how the donuts are made.
You get to see how the sausage is made. That's what I said. That's what I titled the video.
Here's what you need to know, though. I had showered this morning, but I don't have any makeup on,
Yeah.
and my hair was still wet.
Yeah, wet.
It was.
My mom listens to this.
I'm gonna burn down this house with you in it.
Yeah, Amy was self-conscious, but I was getting tired of being the only person on
Oh,
the video.
your hair needs
Frankly.
to be cut so bad.
Frankly.
You look ridiculous. All right.
Well, you can see me on video too, but you just gotta search the internet for it.
Yeah.
Not the Lenny Kravitz
What was
video.
that?
Some deep cut.
Gross. Okay. Let's see who's gonna watch next week.
Oh, come on now. Nobody wants your liquid.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
that's the part I
That's the
remember.
part. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She's
All
got all of this high-tech audio equipment, and then she plays it out of her phone.
Because it's easier. All right. Freddie, I will fucking stab you.
That's
in
a
the
low-quality liquid dream. That's more
damn
like a liquid
toe.
nightmare.
right in the toe. All right, let's shoot somebody. Ooh, we get to shoot. Freddie gets to shoot. I get to. Hopefully, I get to watch you die. Movie die.
Well, yep. Not so much.
Andy, you
Yeah. Oh my god, and my movie's next week too. Holy shit.
Remember how we were like, what if this happens every time?
remember?
Remember?
Oh my god.
Are you ready?
Sure.
It's called Viral.
Mm-hmm.
Two quick-witted teen sisters
It's okay. I'll take some penicillin.
Oh, the Gilmore Girls.
find themselves
Pretty
trapped
stick. Sorry.
at home when parasitic worms plague their sleepy town and threaten to take over their bodies.
That sounds like
fun.
Yeah, it sounds like Critters.
Yeah.
Jinx, yeah. Jinx.
All of me about
Or
it.
Slither or something.
Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman. What did they
Harry
do?
Juiced.
Henry Joost.
You can
Henry
follow-
Juiced.
You can find him in the juice aisle.
I hate you guys so much.
Very juiced.
I hate you guys.
Simply orange.
Juiced?
All right. We'll be right back.
He's huge. He's juiced.
This week's main attraction is from 1953, directed by Henry Hathaway, Niagara, starring Marilyn Monroe, Joseph Cotton, Gene Peters, my Gene's Peter sometime,
What?
Max Showalter, who is my favorite part of the movie,
Who
We're
was
the
he?
Cutlers.
written by Charles Brackett, Walter Reich, and Richard L. Breen.
Was Henry Hathaway related to Anne Hathaway?
Oh,
Can I irrationally not like him too?
Sure.
Oh.
That's misogynistic, Amy. You're
Oh.
internalizing it.
So
I like Anne
This was
Hathaway.
Mikey's pick.
She's a
Why?
cool
this
chick.
was my pick. I picked this for in honor of my mother. My mom probably is the biggest reason why, or one of the main reasons why I have a love for horror and mystery movies. Something that mom we would always do is watch the mystery theater, the PBS mystery theater
I
together.
love that show.
Yeah, so and when she knew I was good with that, birds was really important for her to play birds, and she always loved to tell me this story about how when she was babysitting, she had let little kids watch the birds, the kids that she was babysitting, and it terrified them, and she loves to talk about the birds pecking out the kids' eyeballs, and so my mom always had a kind of a
Your
fun.
mom is dark.
Yes, and she has that fun sense of humor. So she got me really into Hitchcock films. For the longest time, I actually thought Niagara was a Hitchcock film. It's very much in the style of Hitchcock. I think now that I'm older, you can discern some of the differences between the two directors.
He kept- Freddie kept saying, like, relating it back to Vertigo.
yes.
Yeah, this movie reminded me a lot of
Lots
Vertigo.
of the bells,
The bell tower,
for sure.
yeah,
the
everything.
the shadows. It's really
yeah.
a beautiful film. Some of the special effects are a little bit dated. I don't think Hitchcock would have used blue screen or whatever green
But
screen.
there were some.
I
Like,
don't know. I
there
think
were,
he did.
Some of his
He
special
did.
effects are very dated too.
Yeah.
That's true. And
Can't
I think
help it.
Hitchcock was a little bit more of a fan of letting a cut or a scene just kind of simmer for a
Well,
while. There's a lot of
it's-
quick cuts in this
Yeah,
film.
Hitchcock was more of a slow build. This one
Yes.
felt very like a rushed Hitchcock.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
this was Hitchcock for people who have a schedule to keep.
Yes, slower attention. And I think that's why I really love this movie. I remember watching this. I think it was on for some reason in my memory banks. It was like one of those HBO free weekends where you got HBO free, and that was always fun because mom would let me watch the classic movies with her. She would say, "This is one you have to see," and so it was always important for her to have me watch these kinds of films. So I really appreciate that because I still have a huge love, obviously, for Hitchcock films, and definitely this one. Even though it is not Hitchcock, it's Henry Hathaway who also directed. Is it not? I always want to say Airplane. It's Airport was the real one, right? Airplane is the funny one.
Right, yeah. Airport was the disaster movie. I didn't know he directed that.
I think so. He's got some interesting credits. A lot of westerns too.
Yeah,
in
True
his-
Grit was the one that
How
the West was
one,
one, and True Grit are the two that I know.
Yep.
He was not credited on Airport.
Oh, he wasn't. Was he?
No,
like
he must have Alan Smithy that thing.
Okay. Or am
was-
I wrong?
No, you're correct.
Oh, okay.
He was worked on it, but George Seaton got the credit.
Okay. So that's why I picked this film. I do love it, and I'm actually, I don't know what you all think because we haven't talked about it yet, but I'm really glad. I was conflicted. I really wanted to find a Hitchcock movie just because those were so important or an Agatha Christie. My mom loved Agatha Christie. I can always remember sneaking down when into the basement. She would keep her collection. She had every Agatha Christie book, and so there was like a time when she would laugh at me because I was reading like Christopher Pike, and she would say, "When you're ready for a real story."
Ugh.
So
These
actually,
are real
But
stories,
she's
Mom.
right.
she wasn't that wasn't the tone of it all, but it was more of like, yeah, when you're ready for it, like you
Yeah.
got to read 10 Little Indians
Yeah.
or
And then there were none. We call it now.
is that what it's Oh, sorry. Did it get a name change
That's the
officially?
woke version.
Okay.
Yeah, I think mostly you'll find it named, and then there were none now.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
So this again a film for that, but it's been a while since I've revisited it before, but it's been a while since I've seen it. So I just obviously watched it just the other day, and I still love this film. So for me, it really held up. But I'm very curious on to what you all think.
Well, here you go. Are you ready for this shit?
Well, here you go, Amy. What'd you think of it?
We're the Cutlass. See?
The Cutlass.
Sully, and I'm Ray.
I know this is gonna annoy you guys, but we're gonna talk like this a lot.
They were really fun.
Shredded weed on everything.
'Cause-
Shredded weed in my ass. Shredded weed in my face.
This is how people talked
All
in the
over my
50s.
face.
A turkey stuffed
I-
with shredded wheat.
Can I say my piece now?
Of course you can.
Oh my god. I liked it quite a bit.
Yay!
So you're good. It's my first Marilyn Monroe movie.
Oh my! You've not seen
It was
wow.
mine too.
Yeah.
And then after seeing her on screen, I was like, wow, I get it.
Yeah, she was definitely.
She's got the
something
ba-ba
special.
boom.
Yeah.
So striking. Her face is something else. But then you start thinking about her life, and then you just get sad because it's such a tragedy.
I mean, it's like she played the dumb blondes on screen a lot, but
Mhm.
apparently she was like really smart,
Yeah.
and that was a shtick,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not like her playing herself on
It
screen.
makes you feel bad for beautiful people. Like
I know. Don't you feel bad for me?
But in this film, don't you think? And I think this was actually Niagara. I probably should have done a little more research before I go out and say this, but I think this was really one of the films that made her a star. This was very early in her career, and she's not really a dumb blonde in this film.
no, she's just a
She-
crafty little bitch.
She's a crafty seductress. I mean, no one walks like Marilyn Monroe.
She
She's-
wiggles.
There's a swish.
yeah.
There's a switch in it, and it's not funny. I mean, there's
No.
some. I think people probably try to duplicate that, but there is a way that she walks where those hips go a rockin',
Yeah.
and everyone wants to go a knockin'. So she's fantastic in
Yeah.
this film. You can't keep your eyes off of her, and I
Yeah.
think for the most part, there are a lot of caricatures
yeah.
in this film, but the acting in this film is really good from the leads at least. Well,
Was it Joseph
from
Cotton?
the female leads.
Well, I thought George was George is her husband.
Yes, George.
George Loomis.
So the premise of the film
Yeah.
is it is two lovers married for a few years.
Lavas.
One lover of shredded wheat
Mhm.
and one lover of him.
Yes, Polly Cutler and Ray Cutler.
We're the Cutlers.
I like when they go
His
through.
eyes were insane.
Yes.
They drive through the checkpoint from, I guess, Detroit into Canada or New York into Canada or whatever.
Mhm.
And they're like, "What are your names?" It's like, "Mr. and Mrs. Ray Cutler."
I feel like I felt so bad for her because I feel like it would have been exhausting to be married to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's nonstop, and you can
Mhm.
tell on her face she's like, ugh, a lot of times.
Yeah, he's way out of her league as well, or she's way out of his league.
She
I
looked
should
like
say.
Mm-hmm.
Brooke Shields to me.
Freddie
I
said
said the
that
same thing.
She's a knockout, and even though one of my favorite lines in this film, she's sitting. Marilyn Monroe is in this just again a gorgeous outfit, and she the husband Ray Cutler says to his wife.
Oh,
like,
is it
"Why
the,
don't
is it the
you-"
pink
Oh.
dress?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
the pink dress.
I'm gonna fag out for a little bit from this.
Oh my
But,
god, F word.
Her wardrobe on this movie, I was like, ooh.
Mhm.
I loved everything she wore.
Yeah.
Which you mean Marilyn
Everything,
Monroe's
yeah.
character? I also really liked everything that Mrs. Cutler wore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But-
more my speed.
But like her, she Marilyn Monroe, she wore like a lot of like dress suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Which is funny
They were
because when you
just-
think of a
the way
dress
she-
suit,
I don't know if it was the wardrobe or the way she wore it. Maybe it's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah,
Little bit
but
of
it's
both.
like she was just so beautiful in this movie.
She's beautiful. She wakes up beautiful.
Yeah.
She's in a mental institution beautiful. She's
Well, no,
full makeup.
I think I know what you were gonna refer to when she comes out in that dress, and Ray's like, "Honey, why don't you ever wear dresses like that?"
Don't say that, guys, ever.
Well,
Oh, he says a couple real asshole
Yeah.
lines in this film. For example, the one that he says that really makes me cringe is the one he's like, they're commenting on the marriage, and he goes, and how great the wife is, and he says, I think she's good. I'll keep her for a while.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
And
please.
there was one line where
Ugh.
she's in a bikini and she's lounging out in the sun.
Oh, I love this too.
And he takes a picture of her, like, "Come on, honey, profile, inhale."
Yeah.
Like, basically saying, "Suck it in."
So we can see your boobs
Yeah.
pop out.
Yeah, he's trying
That's
to
what
get
he's
his
trying to get to happen.
boobs to go
Well,
popping.
still,
he
like-
But
says
set up the
that-
line.
Boobs
Set
are
up the-
popping.
It's
He-
still kind of gross.
He
The
says-
line of the movie.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
line is fantastic. Say it, Amy. Can
Well,
you?
I don't remember
Or
it
just
exactly.
come close. I can't do it.
It was like, honey, why don't you buy a dress like that? And she's like, because you have to prepare to wear a dress like that starting at the age
you
of
start.
13.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta start laying down groundwork or
Yeah.
something.
Yes. Yes. Which
Like, basically, it's like, don't eat.
Right.
Starting at 13.
Starting at 13. So
But
absolutely.
doesn't it feel like it was exhausting to be a lady in the 50s?
Yeah.
To make yourself up that much all the time.
right.
Constantly wearing that much lipstick. I'm so glad I was born when I was born.
Right. And I think that probably equally for the men, not equally, but a little less so for the men. But I mean, you're looking at
Suits
That's
their,
all they wore, all suits.
you see in the which I love how they all carry around little suitcases when they travel, but you're like their suits. There's so many pieces to these suits or dresses. But yeah, the guys are. He makes a comment when he's very mad. Their honeymoon isn't going real well because there's this whole mystery that's
Yeah.
going on, a death, a murder, that's going on. But the comment the husband makes, Mr. Cutler makes to his wife is, I brought all these darn all the sports apparel for nothing, which all of his sports apparel are three-piece suits.
Yeah, like
Sports
nobody
coats.
in hats.
Yes.
You have everywhere you go, you have to wear a belt and slacks.
tie,
I draw the line at hats. 'cause
cardigan.
Hats are easy to wear.
You're wearing
Yeah.
it right now.
Yeah. So the movie is the Cutlers are there
At the Rainbow Cabins in
at the-
Niagara Falls.
at Rainbow Cabins
They
in
look
Niagara
so
Falls.
cozy.
I know. I kind of
I
want to go
want to
there.
stay there so bad.
They this is their honeymoon that they have been putting off. You're kind of led to believe because Mr. Cutler's career with the
shredded wheat.
shredded wheat company has been going well, and he's won this competition for advertising writing, something about
Sales or something.
stuffing turkey with shredded wheat. I don't really know how they tie that into
So
being
nasty.
a genius line, or
There
if
were a lot of
anybody
things, a lot of cooking
Well,
in
I
the
guess
50s.
maybe it's like
stuff.
stuffing. That's like the replacement for it.
I don't know.
I don't know if they literally meant
Do they
that or
put
it's
shredded
so
wheat in their
good.
gelatin? Their
I'm
Jello.
not a
Yeah.
fan of putting anything
Or
in
an
there,
No.
or an aspic.
The only
unless it's
thing-
vodka.
Well, yeah. The only thing you should be allowed to put in Jello is vodka and or grapes. I do like a grape.
Okay, I could do that. What about oranges and orange Jello? Is that too far now? Yeah. I feel like that people start
You know
putting
what?
weird
Just leave it
fruits
alone.
in there.
Just leave it alone. No shredded wheat though.
Leave her alone.
All right.
So
Cutlers
they're-
are in the cabin.
So the Cutlers are in the cabins. They're
Colors
supposed
in the cabins and the silver spoon.
Little boy blue on the land on the moon. They're supposed to have this awesome view out of their window of Niagara Falls, and they have the special cabin because they won a contest. Mr. Cutler ran this contest. They go to the cabin, and lo and behold, the people who are in the cabin aren't quite ready to leave.
the Loomises.
The Loomises, and enter Marilyn Monroe. She comes out to tell
I'd love
them
to
that
enter
her. Ooh, now
Well, probably
weird,
not.
Freddie.
Bones.
Mhm.
Marilyn Monroe.
I bet her bones are still sexy.
Yeah, hum
Wasn't that a Garbage Pail Kid?
Oh, probably.
I think it was. So Marilyn comes out and asks in her wispy way to keep the cabin for a little bit longer because her husband's very, very sick, and they're not ready to leave. He's just finally been able to get to sleep, and so they say, no big deal, we'll stay in a different cabin. which I've been kind of pissed
I'd
because
have
this is
been
the
pissed.
cabin that has the overview of the thing. But
Yeah,
Like,
inspiration
where's my
point,
free
man.
fucking shit, motherfuckers?
right.
Where's my free fucking shit, motherfuckers?
So they end up going and starting to do some exploring of Niagara Falls. Something has to be said in this film is Niagara Falls. I mean, some beautiful shots
wanna go
of this
now.
film. And a lot of people
Mhm.
have said this film is film noir, which is controversial. Do you know why
Because
it's
it's in
controversial?
color?
Yes, very good, Freddie.
Yeah, it's
Um,
a three strip Technicolors. I think it was
Yeah.
one of the last movies to use it.
Yeah, so the yes.
So noir, you can't have noir in
Well,
color, or
You can the
It meets all the
definition of
other
noir
criteria.
has more to do
Noir.
with lighting and shadows and camera angles
Right.
and thematic content like a femme fatale,
Right.
which is what Marilyn Monroe is in that.
She absolutely is. So that's where enter femme fatale Marilyn Monroe. We go from seeing her kind of manipulate to keep the cabin, and then as they're going around to do some tours of Niagara Falls, where you get some beautifully stunning shots of Niagara Falls, the wife, Mrs. Cutler, stumbles upon while trying to get a perfect photo for her bonehead husband. Marilyn Monroe
Fucking
making
Ray.
out with some dude,
Yeah.
and they're all there in their slickers. They got their raincoats on.
That's the
Oh,
sound.
speaking of slickers, I appreciated how they were gendered.
the men had black slickers, the ladies had yellow, and that's just how that shit happened.
Yes.
It's how they help prioritize fishing bodies out of the
Yeah.
water.
Do you think they let a man wear a yellow one if he wanted to? Was it his
Not in the
choice?
50s.
Not in the 50s.
He
Nope.
wears a yellow slicker, if you know what I mean.
Ah, that sounds like what they would have said. And then thrown you over.
Yeah.
So that starts the whole what is going on? Because clearly this is not the husband of Miss Marilyn Monroe.
The Cutlers have prepared for a nice, boring honeymoon, and they are getting sucked into a whole lot of intrigue.
They
Yeah,
are.
because then is this when the dancing kids show up?
Yes, the dancing kids, and
their
Mr. Loomis makes his
record
first
player.
crazy appearance. Well, not his first, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
But his first crazy appearance. Marilyn comes out and plays this song, which will be known as the song for this movie, "The Kiss." I think it's called "The Kiss." I'm not exactly sure what the title of it,
or
but
Kiss.
Me
Kiss.
beneath the Billy Barley.
yeah,
No, I
Sixpence
say that just because you say
None
that.
the Richer later
Yeah.
went on to cover
Yeah.
this song, but not at all. Um, It's a very wispy. That's not really the right word for that.
It's very lispy.
It's
No,
a very
I don't
lispy
know.
song about kissing and
Kispy.
kispy. So they're playing. The kids are out in the cabins and they're playing some funky.
Kids are in the cabin in the soups.
Oh gosh, can't make the same joke twice.
Actually,
Freddie.
It's so
But they're-
nice. I made it twice.
they're doing that dance. They're doing the dancing that kids do, and Marilyn really loves that, and she wants to go out and see some life. But weirdly, she brings a record out, and she puts this record on, "The Kiss," which is much more of a slow ballad, and but we get to see Marilyn Monroe like really eat the scenery.
Oh, this is delicious.
That's pretty good. Marilyn's
Thank
here.
you.
Coming
Thank you.
back from the.
I am
Okay,
a candle in the wind. Thank you very
Everybody's got
much.
to do a Marilyn now. Mr. Cutler. That was not
God.
good. Ouch. That was more like not Mama's Family, like All in the Family.
Diamonds. So, yeah.
George flips his shit.
Georgie, the soda jerker. No, not that George.
Georgie.
Oh,
Oh, so
Sorry.
bad.
I love him. That's an inside joke from our Dollywood days, but go on.
Yeah, I'm over
In our
sugared, so I
Dollywood
apologize.
days.
My ADD gets a little out of control right now. So back to script. Marilyn is now kind of she's laying back and she's saying, this is another one of her classic lines in this film. They said the Mr. whatever, Mr. Cutler says, "Wow, you really like this song," and she goes, "It's the only song," which I'm not even
That's
sure what that
basically it.
means.
Yeah,
but-
that doesn't make any sense.
This and Chumbawamba are it for me. As far as I'm concerned, I get knocked down, but I get up again.
To kiss.
Mr. President.
Oh my.
The only song.
I just want to stay in this moment right now because this is fantastic. So while the song is playing, Mr. Loomis freaks out He comes out of the cabin. No one has seen him yet. We find out who the real husband of Mrs. Loomis is. He goes up to the record player, he picks up the record, and he smashes it, cutting his hand, making a huge scene as a crazy person, and then slams the door back in the cabin. Now, this is where it gets a little bit weird for me, because Mrs. Cutler actually volunteers to go into the crazy man's cabin to apply
She's a busybody.
medication.
I think she's just really kind.
I think in the 50s, people just insisted upon themselves on other people.
All the time.
Because like when Marilyn came out, she just laid down on the Cutler's porch and just made herself at home.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Cutler just said, "I'll clean your husband's cut up. I won't wash my hands or."
Did you wonder where that
wipe it up?"
pillow that she finds for that pretty dress?
Yeah.
She just finds this magic pillow because she's
To sit on.
Because not only is
'Cause
she
she's
eating the
fucking
scenery,
Marilyn
but she's
Monroe.
sitting on the scenery too in a real pretty dress that shouldn't be sitting on dusty porch steps. So she actually makes the comment, which again is a little weird to me, that she goes, "I don't think I should go in there because he's so crazy right now." And then Mrs. Cutler says, "I'll go in there and apply medication."
Yeah.
And Mr. Cutler doesn't even think that he probably should go in too. But
Yeah.
I guess it all works out. He goes in, she goes to meet him. She gets to meet Mr. Loomis, who actually just seems to be a sad sap.
Yeah, she gets a little taste of their marriage and kind of what the problems are, which is essentially like he's basically saying she kind of used him a little bit and she doesn't really
There's
love
a lot
him
of
anymore, and
subtle. He implies like she's got whore boobs.
yeah,
and then
basically.
And it's like,
she's got a whore butt.
and that's what he mentions, like, she's wearing that dress cut down to her knees.
yeah.
He says she's a tramp.
Yeah.
And like, when he said tramp, like, I like those old-timey words for like slut.
He found
Old-timey
her,
slut.
I want the words tramp and floozy
Yeah.
to come back.
Oh, so we can have floozy shaming?
Yeah.
He actually created the picture that he creates for that I absolutely love is he says she would go out into the Jersey Stadium, whatever the baseball team in Jersey is. She would want the entire stadium to see her in that floozy dress, and he does call her a floozy. He says, in case you were wondering, she is a floozy, so you don't need to ask. So I don't know if that implies that he knows she's stepping out on the town or what, but
They already had the conversation about him having been in the hospital.
It was just a brief comment when they first met him.
Yeah, she was like mostly psycho.
well, he was in the war. He's a war vet.
Yeah.
So but he went to the special wing for people who had some mental issues.
Yeah.
So and you get to see a little bit that it's more about like depression. It's like
Yeah.
feels like he can't get anything right or do anything right, but
Right.
somehow he ended up with Marilyn Monroe. So I'd say he's done something right, except for Marilyn Monroe ain't so happy.
She
She is
hates him.
playing him. She hates him. So
She's got a man friend.
she does have a man friend.
And she's got plans for that man friend.
She does.
This is really elaborate, like how they got to Niagara and how she managed to coordinate with her lover
Mm-hmm.
to be there. And they do this whole clandestine like an evil
Code.
version of Amelie where like they go to gift shops and stuff and leave each other.
They do. They do this awesome thing in the gift shop where, by the way, anybody notice Marilyn Monroe just steal the postcard?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
nobody said a goddamn thing to her.
Because she's
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe.
You're
She can
right.
get away with anything.
That's
She
true.
could. She could. So yeah, she goes to they go to meet. She actually do like another I think classic, something that you could pull off in the 50s but not now, where Marilyn calls the place that her beau is staying, her side piece is staying, and asks for the wrong place, and the lady on the thing goes, "Can't you look up a number?" Because it's party line or
She is
whatever. She was
pissed.
really really pissed, but thereby lets her side piece know that is really her, and it's time to get to the spot in Niagara. So they go to meet in Niagara, unbeknownst to Marilyn, or maybe beknownst to Marilyn. Miss Loomis. Mr. Loomis is in pursuit, so he is tailing her.
She knew exactly what he was gonna do.
Yeah.
She gave him a little nookie the night before to keep him happy.
Mm-hmm.
Then kind of acts like, I'm gonna go get our bus tickets. He's like, why do you have to go get them now? Because I want to. And
She
then
wants to reserve them so they have a seat so they don't have to stand.
They don't have to stand
Yeah.
all
on
the
the
way to
train.
Chicago.
But
Chicago.
he's really suspicious of why she wants to go get these tickets now and why she wants to leave. And so she gets him a little riled up about something. Like,
Yeah, I just want to say, standing on a train or bus from Niagara Falls to Chicago
Mm-hmm.
doesn't sound physically possible to me.
Especially when she's in heels all the time.
Yeah.
I don't like
Right.
standing on a bus from the Magic Kingdom to Port Orleans Rivers.
You entitled
That's a-
little prick.
That's a
Jeez.
good point.
Freddie
'cause-
just made it, he just subtly said that we stay at moderate resorts.
My
Yeah.
diamond shoes are too tight.
You think you fancy, don't you?
I have been in a moderate resort twice
everyone
3 times.
in 10 years.
everyone in this room can pretty much, except for Andy, can say that we have taken seats when we have seen people who probably should have had them.
Fuck you, fuck your kids, I'm sitting down.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Your little kid has enough energy to
Yeah,
have that freaking
they'll
glow
be
stick blown
fine.
in my face.
74-year-old man with a
Yes.
walker in his World War II
I'm
or
fucking,
his
I'm
Korean
almost
War.
40. I'm
Yeah.
sitting down.
One
And-
time, this elderly pregnant lady got on the bus, and nobody got up except me.
Yeah. Now, Andy.
Andy's looking around like,
Andy will like give his seat to
No, I don't
a
even
17-year-old who
No,
just
when we-
ran a marathon.
When
But
we get on the bus, I don't even sit down, so I just free up a seat for people.
it's really
Do you
nice
think you're
that you
better
do
than
that.
me?
I do.
So George follows Rose.
yes,
That's her name.
Sorry.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I just referred to her as Marilyn the whole time.
Yeah. George tails the tail. And Marilyn, yeah, she's got that wiggle in that tail, yo. Easy to tail. And you're absolutely right, Amy. One of the funny setups that you see in this film is how Mr. Loomis absolutely is on cloud 9 after his night of Nookie. And you're like, oh, we've not seen this version of Mr.
Yeah.
Loomis.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I'll take you to Marshall Fields. And you can buy whatever you want. And Marilyn's like, oh, what brought this on? This happy version of you. Well, we
And
all
he
know.
says, you know.
You know what
know.
you
He went,
did.
He did the hot dog and
squish, squish,
Yes.
Ah!
Did the
Your whole
full-
boobs and your whole butthole. Oh, you're the best, baby.
He did the full Forrest Gump explanation
Wow.
of sex that
They
Freddie
said-
just did.
You whore butthole.
I'm surprised they said whore butthole in a movie from 1953. I was really
It was
shocked.
so different.
Freddie, I'm sorry. It was floozy butthole.
Floozy, you
Yeah.
loosey floozy butthole.
Yeah, floozy butthole that you'd showed all the
Lucy.
reds.
Nobody wants a Lucy butthole.
He's like, you smell like a dime store. I know what that means. Like, little tiny candies and cigarettes, and
What
lottery
exactly
tickets.
does that mean?
What?
I think that's a
Dime store horror.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's-
but
He
what-
just left the
cheap.
word horror off
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
What exactly does a dime store?
Saying she's cheap.
Yeah.
She's a cheap.
So you couldn't in
What?
a dime store you could buy cheap perfume.
It's because it's a dime. It's cheap.
I think because they hung around dime
Yeah.
stores.
The whores.
I think.
Okay,
It's like a lot lizard.
gotcha. Okay, but much classier.
So it turns out they're luring
Terrible
him.
cough.
They're
sorry.
luring him, and they do this whole fun postcard communication where basically on this postcard, the side piece flips it over and writes on it, if you hear the song, our song, The Kiss, which you just heard on the record, which is what made Mr. Loomis go crazy, if you remember.
And then the bell tower starts going, you don't have to be beautiful.
So how does the bells go during the kiss part?
Ding, 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 dong, 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 ding, ding. It's totally, you can't even tell what it
Okay.
is.
But one little bell says,
Kiss.
Yes, that'll be the signal that it happened.
that'll
He
be the
killed
signal.
him.
Yes. And so,
Speaking of killing, was it just a lot easier to kill people in the 50s?
Oh, sure.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because
yeah.
they got away
It
with
was
a lot.
hard not to kill people in the 50s.
Yeah.
Because in this movie, they got away with a lot of easy killings.
Well, there's no surveillance.
Yeah, there's no CCTV.
Yeah, like that. Sure, people disappeared all the time.
It was easier to steal boats then, too.
You didn't have a credit card to track.
So when
or
people
anything.
talk about the good old days, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's easier to murder. in
Make
the good
America
old
great
days.
again for murdering.
For murdering.
It was
Yes.
easy to abandon your family back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kill people.
Yes, and get your full refund on a travel purchase. I mean,
Yeah.
come
I
on.
think it's because it's Maryland. She
You
can get away
think
with anything.
that's why
Yeah.
he was like, sure, I'll refund that Chicago
He's like,
ticket
you want to
for
finish
your
my lunch too, Ms.
your-
Marilyn Monroe?
dead side piece. So, so the postcard, which is kind of fun, she reads the postcard. She then takes it and throws it away. And
I thought this was kind of a sweet moment, actually.
Between her and her
Yeah.
conspirator?
Yeah.
They're conspiring to murder George.
But it was like a little love note that he left for
Well,
her.
Oh my
yeah.
God, Andy,
It's
you're
more-
so
well,
fucked up.
Andy's seeing.
But, like,
you're
the way-
both right. You're both
but-
right.
But the way she looked, she was just so happy.
Well,
about
she was
it.
happy.
Yeah.
You kind of empathize with her,
doesn't
even though she's planning a murder.
Really love him.
Maybe-
She's using him.
Maybe it's
The
because
new guy.
Yeah.
Does it matter if she loves him or not when they're planning a murder?
But I think she actually did like the new guy because they had a song together. It wasn't. I don't feel it was just a signal. I think it was their song.
Whatever.
Well,
So
I
I
think
feel like they had an actual connection besides like I'm just using you.
that actually he's being a little more Ravenclaw in this one because
You're
he
right,
is seeing
you're right.
that maybe Marilyn is capable of love, and obviously she's used Mr. Loomis to get what she needed up to this point. But we don't really know what her intentions with this other.
That's true. You
He
never
is
really find
younger,
out.
probably more her on her level. Nobody's on Marilyn's level, but more on her
You know
level.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so we don't know, but she does seem to really like him for more than what he can provide. It doesn't seem like he can provide her much.
Bob B. Darin, he knows what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
I never saw.
all the hot new tunes.
I never got the impression she was a gold digger. I think she was just actually liked this guy.
He said something about.
Well,
Doesn't matter. It's whatever.
well, you do know because she the way Mr. Loomis describes her is that she hung around a bar, basically waiting for a chump like him to.
Well,
you know,
that's his understanding, his presumption
understanding.
about
he
her.
was basically a serial loser.
Right.
After he met her.
Which he does make you wonder exactly how much did he have to offer to
Right.
her, other than maybe a way out of whatever.
Well, he may have been a
shit
different man
town.
before he went to Korea. Like, you get the impression that some really bad shit
Korea was
went down in Korea.
55, right?
No,
think
because
it
this
was-
movie
it
was
was-
made in '53, and he talks about going to Korea.
Oh, I thought.
I thought it was World War II.
Yeah, because I thought Korea was
he
later.
said Korea in the movie, didn't he?
Oh, maybe he predicts
Freddie, I'm
something.
looking it up.
Is he
Please.
psychic?
All right, continue.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the whole bell tower thing happens, you hear this song. So we know that Mr. Loomis has followed her. Mr. Loomis goes and is trying to basically stop whatever is supposed to be happening.
Oh, never mind. You're right, Freddie.
And all we
It's okay.
really
I forgive
know
you.
is someone died because we hear the song, The Kiss, played on the bells, which is pretty awesome. I thought that's kind of crazy that someone who was going to commit murder would play a song that seems a little bit traceable, but then you actually can make song requests at this bell tower.
Yeah.
It's got a little drop-in slot, so I
That's
don't know.
awesome.
I guess if you wanted to put Princess Kiss in the bell tower, you could have done it.
Push it.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
On bells, though.
ding dong ding dong ding.
dong,
Ding,
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 ding, ding,
dong,
dong,
ding,
ding, ding, dong, ding, dong.
It's our song.
So
That's our song.
that stinks.
I'd like to request "Fart" by Andy Hung.
Then Amy comes out and breaks the record.
Yeah.
Smash.
I would.
are playing that fart record too loud. All you do is stand out here, wiggle your butts to "Fart" by Andy Hung.
All right, so how does she? I kind of.
The B-side is called Poot.
She ends up in drugged up because, like, oh, my husband, he's
Well,
missing.
she goes. So they ask her.
No, I
she
didn't-
hears that the bells, and she's excited because she knows that the plan has happened. But you kind of get that weird because she's always playing this double role. Again, she's the femme fatale. It's
Yeah.
you're not really sure.
now,
Was she
and
happy
then she
about
has
it or?
to play the like, oh my god, my husband.
But I
so-
didn't. I thought I interpreted it as like they claim the body and
Right.
he has to identify it, and then she faints. But I interpret it as like she saw it wasn't her husband,
Right. But
and
That's right.
and that's why she was like all like
Right.
Right.
not because
okay.
like she was upset about her husband dying.
You thought it was remorse?
No, I thought she was playing the.
Oh, she was. It was
The
still
part.
more of the act. I
It
got
does come off as she's playing.
But you find out
But
later.
you think, but again, and you're thinking about this role, is that she knows what she's about to see. She's thinking she's going to see her husband, Mr. Loomis, in this whole thing, and she's got to be prepared to show the right, the right emotion for that, because obviously she had planned for this whole thing to happen. And when it's revealed that it's actually her side piece that's in the body bag, you're supposed to expect that, and it is a pretty glamorous faint.
Yeah.
It's Elisa Vanderpump on
Oh, it's
Dancing with the
so-
Stars faint.
Goddamn dramatic.
I gotta better be careful. I don't
And
want
again-
Vanderpump coming for me.
She will murder you.
That's
Yeah.
another thing from the 50s. People just fainted back then for no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Well, here's your problem. Her I know, like, oh, Marilyn Monroe's a size 16. No, she wasn't. Let's be real. She had a tiny little waist.
They said she
wide
was a
and neat.
size 16?
Back in those days.
What, did they have different sizes
Did they
back
change
then?
the sizes?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, our sizes are all over the goddamn place now,
Oh, that's interesting.
and they're bigger. But
Well,
anyway,
even the Gap for men's jeans,
Yeah.
they're a little more generous.
and they're
than
different
your
between
typical-
different like stores.
That's
You
why
know, if
people
you
like
get
Gap
your
jeans.
jeans at Peters, or if you get your jeans at that's a joke, Jean Peters.
Oh, good one, Amy.
Oh, excuse me, are those Peter's jeans you're wearing?
And then she drives off.
Yeah, that's a Bugle Boy reference for the older listener.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Anyway, so I get it now. I don't think I got it at
Mhm.
first that she had recognized her
Right.
her boyfriend.
Her boyfriend, which puts her into she's in the insane asylum. So or I don't know what they're calling. I guess she's being treated, but basically she's just being
Yeah.
super doped up, and she's having lots of fever dreams.
What was interesting is the Cutlers kind of get dragged into my husband's missing. I can't find him, and they go with her to the police.
And
and
they get dragged in, but like you said, they're busybodies. And
they're little busybodies, so they're into it.
Right.
So they kind of get dragged into this.
Mrs. Cutler
time.
seems to be more into the mystery.
Yeah,
But
the husband's like a fucking idiot.
But this is where I will say you see some of the 50s stuff played out with women and men roles that I think is
Yeah.
really, really interesting, because Mrs. Cutler, obviously, if you watch this film, she is way smarter than Mr.
Oh, my
Cutler.
God, by a
Oh, yeah.
1000%.
And she's also knockout gorgeous. And,
Yeah.
you know, when they put her in the bikini in that scene, I mean, she had a pretty knockout body, too. But she never
That
actually
bikini
gets to
is in now.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the-
all of the women's
high-waisted
clothes are back
bikinis.
in.
Yeah.
The men's clothes, not so much, because
Never.
Mr.
So much
Cutler
fabric.
looks like a
Right.
little boy in wool, and he like leaps around in it, and he's like 5 feet tall.
Well, it's like they had the pleated pants back
Yeah.
So many
And
Extra
he laughs.
pleats.
then. It was very blousy.
You could put like a Thanksgiving turkey in those pants.
But
And the
once
wheat that goes inside of it.
shredded
yeah,
wheat
and the shredded
pans
wheat, a stuffed.
in their pocket.
And he laughs like a dolphin.
It's
Yeah.
the worst. So
And
they
he smiles. I think he's
little crazy.
touched. Yeah, his mouth is always.
so they get
smiling.
dragged into this, and then when she ends up in the hospital, they're kind of like, Mr. Kettering's in town, and then it's like Kettering time, Mr. and Mrs. Kettering.
He's so obsessed with Mr. Kettering.
He is super obsessed with Mr.
But his
Kettering,
wife-
which is brings in the whole man career thing.
Yeah.
Now his wife, okay, just so someone's been murdered, or been involved in this whole thing. She is in their cabin. They finally get moved to the right
Yeah.
cabin, and is sleeping. And Mr. Loomis, which I will say, quite a Halloween scene there. I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys all
Ironically,
caught
his
this.
name is Loomis.
Exactly. If you all caught this, of the whole like, there are a couple times when Mr. Loomis is just in the background and kind of peering out from things, or
Yeah.
she's washing
Yes.
something in the sink, and then out through the window you can see Mr. Loomis, and the camera doesn't patronize you with that. You do have to kind of be watching for it, sort of like a spot the Michael Myers kind of thing that happens. Well, Mr. Loomis comes in. Mrs. Cutler has basically just been told to take a nap because we're going out with
The Kettering.
the Ketterings, and she's kind of napping, and then Mr. Loomis comes into the apartment.
And you're like, what? He's alive? Because you don't know.
You don't know.
It's like,
we're
twist.
we're again. You kind of led to believe that the faint that happened in the hospital was just Marilyn playing the role,
Yeah.
and but it wasn't. That was real serious. That she was not expecting to see what she saw in the
She's like,
body
shit,
bag.
my boyfriend.
Yeah, so nice little twisty. She sees him. She's screaming. Everyone in the entire cabin is freaked out. They're running. Mr. Cutler is just taking a shave, but is really the last one to the scene, and then basically comes out and tells Mrs. Cutler, "Quit being crazy."
It's like, oh, my wife, this fucking bitch. You know what? The imagination on her. Can't wait to pump her full of kids, so that dies.
Then she taps it down with alcohol.
Yep.
Yes, that was fantastic. That needs to be on a t-shirt.
And a
Amy.
cure-all back
Thank
in the 50s was drinking a glass of water.
Just
Just
have
No
some
ma-
water.
No matter
Have
what,
some
to have a
water.
glass of water.
They didn't
And
have Xanax
laudanum.
yet. They had opium.
Didn't they do Laudanum?
I don't know.
Well, they did beer. Was
They
anybody
do
interested-
beer.
Was anybody interested in
She
the fact that they
drank
got
beer.
the beers for their business trip out into the wood? She was
Yeah.
responsible for going to get the box of beer.
You know, yeah, I thought it was a box of wine.
Yeah, I did
I
too.
thought
And then I
was
was like,
too.
my God, it's a box of beer.
So
It's a
she
box of
has
beer.
a couple of incidents where she runs into Loomis.
Right.
And she's trying to get anybody to believe her. She realizes nobody will, so she just is along for this the party with the Ketterings for days.
She has bad luck.
Yeah,
And
she has some serious
she's
bad luck.
stuck with her dumbass husband and these idiots.
Yeah.
Talking about shredded wheat all fucking day.
That would be like me.
Yeah.
If I worked for shredded wheat, I'd be like, Amy, you know what else you can do with shredded wheat? Put it in the Thanksgiving turkey. Go ahead, just put it all in there. Put a whole box in there.
Yeah.
I'll shove it up your
It's
ass.
just fun. It's funny to me that like this woman who's really played as like she is very smart with it together. She knows what she's doing is now all of a sudden the histrionic, crazy woman who is pretty darn sure she saw
Yeah.
a supposed dead person walking the earth and nobody believes it.
But then the really great scene at the bell tower. Well, I guess Marilyn gets out. And she's like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Well, so they have another. There's she runs into him again at the Mr. Loomis. They're going out on this trip. They're out in Niagara Falls, and there's actually a pretty cool action scene there with
Cave of the Winds. I
Cave
wanna
of the
go there.
Winds, which is
Yeah, I wanna do
obviously
that
seems
too.
incredibly unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slippery stairs where you could see multiple people sliding
Okay,
down
well,
the
it was
stairs.
Freddie, you better hope I'm
Incre-
happy with you that day.
Oh
it's
my
incredibly
God.
unsafe, but the railings they had, they were just made of toothpicks, apparently.
He said they were
Yes.
made in 1885.
They were made in 1885, and you see multiple people slipping down these, and they're all in their slickers.
Yeah.
And basically, there's one wood railing that goes right over into the cliff of Niagara Falls, and you will surely die, meet your demise. And only one beam is keeping you from that because
Unless
when-
Superman comes and swoops in and saves you, like in the film Superman 2.
Yes, because Mrs. Cutler is actually runs into Mr. Loomis, who is trying to basically figure out a way to get out and to start a new life apart from.
He's like, just let me be dead.
Yeah, I just want to be dead
I
because
actually
my
felt
life.
sympathy for him at this point.
You
I
do,
did
and
too.
so does Mrs. Cutler, which I
Yeah.
think is why this part is interesting because they're kind of wrestling. She's not sure. She thinks that he's going to kill her, and they're very close to this toothpick railing, and then the railing.
She actually goes over it, doesn't she?
She goes over it.
And
The
he
railing
saves her, yeah.
breaks incredibly easy. While you're seeing more guests slipping down
But
those
it's like-
stairs.
That
You-
bitch weighs 90 pounds, if
Yeah.
anything.
But
Yeah,
you
she's
see,
itty-bitty.
you see her go over the railing, but then you see in the corner there's this couple making out,
Uh-huh.
and like they didn't do anything while this chick went overboard.
Yeah.
Too romantic, sorry.
And then more people slipping down the stairs. It was yeah. So, but Mr. Loomis actually
romantic.
saves her, pulls her up and brings her into the cave and basically says, "I just want to be left alone. Please don't tell anybody."
And she's
I
like,
just-
I want to be left alone.
yeah.
I mean, because at
He's like,
this
me
point,
too.
You met my husband.
at this point, it's self-defense. You know that. You know they were planning on killing him. He killed
Yeah.
the other dude first. It would have been fine. Just go on your merry way. But George can't let it go.
He can't let it go. And Mrs. Loomis, you can tell, or Mrs. Cutler is having some issues with the whole thing on what she would do because basically everybody's treated her like a histrionic crazy person. Now she's had one more sighting and she feels some sympathy for this guy.
Yeah.
You'll later find out because she tells him, "Oh, you just should have turned yourself in."
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. So they go back, and the detectives are now hot on the trail of trying to figure out what's going on in this whole situation. There was a murder, someone got pushed over, was it self-defense, whatever. And Mrs. Cutler says, "I've seen him." And Mr.
And they're like, shut up, shredded wheat, bitch.
yeah.
So anyway.
And Mr. Cutler, after she said this huge piece of evidence to the detective, Mr. Cutler says, "Go away." And so they just do, which to me makes absolutely no sense. So, yeah, they did. They went away.
Where the gutless? We gotta go hang out with the Ketterings. The gutless and the Ketterings.
Man, that couple has a lot of energy for an elderly couple. That's
then-
yeah.
And they're kind of comic relief, too, in this, because they're both pretty over the
They
top.
remind you of
Yeah.
Fred Neffel from the
Yeah.
My Love Lucy.
So this is when she gets out.
Mhm.
Marilyn Monroe gets out of the doohickey place.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, I gotta get out of town. And they're like, well, they're looking for a lady. Because at this point, they figured out she escaped, right?
Right.
And they know something's up.
They know something's up, and she's got this ticket to Chicago. So she goes to use the ticket to Chicago. She gets a refund on the other one just by a wink. And as she's standing in line, she meets this pretty awful woman who is complaining to her husband about,
Yes.
we're going to be here all day. Sounds definitely like in a conversation you've overheard in an airport many times, and the guy comes back and says, "Honey, I've told you the reason we're not going anywhere is they're looking for somebody." And the nagging wife goes, "Well, what are they looking for?" So anyhow, we all know
says,
that
we could go see the falls, and he's like, "I'm sorry I ever met you."
pretty
Mentioned it.
No, I heard it met you.
And then he's like, "Why do you have to ruin everything?
Why do you have to ruin everything? And then they went to Beaches and Cream,
and he left her behind.
He left her behind. Why do you have to ruin everything?
That's a Disney story. We'll go tell you later.
Guys, we gotta stop being so inside
that'd be
baseball.
that'd be a good Patreon cast. Disney
Where
stories.
we talk about all our Disney stories.
Wishes and stories.
Wishes is dead.
There was a guy who
Over the
looked like
falls.
Mr. Dursley from Harry Potter who got mad at his wife over I don't know what and stormed out of a little ice cream restaurant. And he had Velcro shoes on and he was real ruddy and red.
No, he stormed out. She stormed out.
Oh, did he stay? He angrily ate ice cream and hot dogs.
And then he ate her fries.
Oh, he
Remember
did.
that?
That's right. It was she stormed out crying. I
Yeah.
think he was a terrible person.
Yeah, because they were arguing and we overheard them. He's like, "Why do you have to ruin everything?"
he's like, "You smell like a dime store."
And then she walked out of the Beaches and Cream, and he proceeded to eat her fries.
Yeah.
Well, I guess these shouldn't go
Do
to
you guys
waste.
remember the family breakdown hour with the couple with the Chippendale hats on?
Yeah.
That was so funny.
That's the best.
They hated each other. They
That-
had these
that's- that's
doofy
a-
Chippendale.
That was the same night that the Brazilian mom went off.
Oh yeah, she
we
just
can
left her
tell.
family.
She left her
completely.
Okay,
family.
This is definitely a spin-off
Okay.
podcast.
We've seen a
more
lot of
well-hung
people
family
being
stories.
abandoned at
We've
Disney.
seen children be abandoned. We've seen
Families abandoned,
families
wives abandoned.
We've seen
We've
so
seen
much
some borderline
family
abuse happen. We get a little more
A
physical.
child played like a drum.
We've all.
That lady that shook her kid said, "You will not ruin another vacation."
We saw a man wave a knife at his son.
Okay, so those are
speaking
teases
of-
on another spin-off.
Wishes.
So
George-
basically, vacation is stressful.
Except for- not
basically
for
that,
us.
That was George
Not
and
for the
Rose's
more well-hung
problem.
family. Yes.
So she runs away and he chases her, right? Basically.
Yes. So she's she tries to every planes, trains, and automobiles to get out of Niagara to basically get out of we're all on the Canada side, by the way.
Right.
And so
Where's
she's,
your other hand?
yeah.
Between two pillows? Those aren't pillows.
Another great line from that movie that didn't happen. So she decides she's gonna go in on foot in her high heels and her wiggle. She starts to run in, and lo and behold, standing at the corner, much like another Halloween scene, Mr. Loomis is standing there looming, and they end up running into the bell tower, which is very Hitchcockian, lots of shadow. What's gonna happen?
One might even say that which came first, this or Vertigo?
Oh,
I'll find
good
out
question.
for you.
Because the climaxes are very similar.
They are.
Excuse me.
I thought there was like a nice poetic justice moment where that she actually died in the bell tower,
Yeah.
and that was like the signal, and where they played their song.
Where they play their song.
Yeah.
Well, he
Although-
even says they're not playing for you now, Rose.
and then you get probably one thing that I appreciate about this film, separate from the Hitchcock, something we already said, is that it's a lot of quick cuts. But when you're in the bell tower, you actually because you get to hear that song played, The Kiss, and then this time it's a long on the bells, and they are not playing, of course, because
you would think they would have played like dramatic music, but this scene takes place in silence.
yeah, it's all in silence in a bell tower.
And that shot from above is, I think, the best shot in the movie, where it's shot down through the rafters and through the bells, and there's all the shadows on the ground.
Yeah.
This is a very Hitchcocky moment.
Very much, and the way Marilyn is actually, they get to the top of the bell tower, and Mr. Loomis uses Marilyn's scarf that she's got. It's a very pretty yellow scarf she's got tied around her whatever purse, and he uses that to choke her to death, and she is sprawled out.
Yeah. She did.
She did.
Ooh, she did.
Vertigo came out in 1958.
Ooh, so
Ooh.
Hitchcock
This was
actually
first.
owes something to this movie, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Ooh.
What's going on?
Gee.
Well,
OMG.
Oh my.
When was Hitchcock's first movie?
His first movie?
Oh, Lord. Just,
I don't know.
okay.
Okay, so
Marnie. I don't know.
So so Marilyn is dead now, And we are just going to fast forward to the climactic ending scene.
Yeah.
So basically, all things come together. They realize what has happened, and the Cutlers are getting ready to go on this boating trip. And Mr. Loomis shows up at the boating trip while everybody's going and getting gasoline or whatever.
But
wants
he-
to get-
boxed
it's
beer.
gross because he tells his wife to get liver.
Does he?
I think did he say liver?
More beer?
No, he tells Mrs. Cutler to get the beer. Then he tells his wife, "You get the gas, you get the beer, you get the liver."
Hmm.
I was like, gross.
I,
That's
lo- I love Braunschweiger though. Maybe that's
it's
what he
like,
meant.
is that what they're gonna have for lunch?
Or maybe
Put it
they're
on
using it for bait.
crackers.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe they're using it for bait.
No.
He said.
It was the 50s. I didn't imagine they ate a lot of liver back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had no
Liver
choice.
was.
It just was gross to me.
So they're so the wife, who's the smartest one in the entire bunch, Mrs. Cutler, is back first with her box of beer that looks strangely like a box of wine. She is preparing to get on the boat, or she gets on the boat. At the same time, Mr. Loomis shows up, has made a distraction, and jumps on the boat, thinking this is his only chance to fulfill his "I just want to be dead" prophecy or plan. And gets
Actually, I thought he was headed to the American side.
Well, he was trying to get there but he couldn't
Yeah.
figure out a way he needed to get the boat. So he was going to take the boat to get to the American side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He wants to be air quotes dead.
Air quotes dead.
Sorry,
right.
my bad. I
Not-
thought you were saying.
No. He did not have a death wish. He was ready to. He had learned everything he needed to learn, and was ready to have a new start and let this old Mr. Loomis be metaphorically dead. Lots of metaphor in this movie, by the way. With the whole Niagara Falls in the opening of the film, telling you about how Niagara Falls can be pretty, but can also be incredibly treacherous. You throw
Yeah.
a stick in there at the top and it just floats around perfect and in paradise, but when that gets in the rapids, it's going to be broken like a twig.
Just
Yeah.
like Marilyn Monroe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The stick is a dick.
Her surface is placid.
Yes.
Her
so,
insides are dangerous.
It's treacherous vagina.
are
It's very
you
misty.
If you're gonna go in,
dangerous?
you want to put a barrel on.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to be in a barrel.
You know.
So they're on the boat, and everything seems like it's going to be a normal getaway, except as they're being chased down, the boat runs out of gas. Hence, remember why the two guys were going out to get
Get your
gasoline?
fucking gas.
Wasn't really a lot of gas.
Speaking of
in there.
gas, just kidding.
Oh,
Please
jeez,
don't.
Andy. And the boat gets, of course, caught up for our climax of the film in the Niagara Falls water. So we are having a battle that's going on land and sea with Mr. Loomis and Mrs. Cutler in the boat. They are trying to Mrs.
Oh,
Cutler
and air. There's
and
the
air.
chopper.
The chopper. Oh yeah, with the cool lawn chair
Yeah.
drop. Oh, it's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So I love this scene again. So cool. It's shot. It's awesome. It's beautiful in Niagara Falls, but you're also seeing how dangerous.
It's actually a
nature
pretty
can be.
intense scene.
Yeah.
Even though the movie is
Yeah.
so old, it still manages. You're still kind of like, oh, what's gonna
You
happen?
can tell a little bit.
Well, there's a lot of green screen, and there's a
But-
fake
Yeah.
rock in the water where I'm like, oh, that's gonna be important later.
I think
Right.
at one point I saw like PAs just tossing buckets of water.
Yeah.
It's like an SNL sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But
and
it works.
And then Ray is like in the car chasing him down, watching
Chasing from the side.
watching the boat, and he's like, "Scuttle it,
Right.
scuttle it."
Yeah. And it's
Which
awesome.
I didn't really understand what he was saying until the boat sunk, and then they were like, "Oh, that's the first time anybody's ever prayed to scuttle." I'm like, "Oh, that's what that means."
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
To make it sing, like Georgie Porgy decides that the only way to save them is to start knocking holes in the hull so that the boat takes on water and
Water
grounds
and
itself.
But
grounds
this is
itself.
why I feel like he's a sympathetic character because at one
George?
point George.
Yeah.
Oh, he's very.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
because-
he
yeah,
is.
This is even though he killed two people, you
Yeah.
still feel for him because at one point Mrs. Cutler wants to save herself, get off the boat, and she wants to dive in, and Mr. Loomis stops her. He's like, "No, you get shredded."
Yeah.
And at the end, he starts busting holes in the boat to like
Yeah.
save her
Right.
to
Which
stop the
it
boat
means
from going
he
over
will go to
edge.
jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like looking out for her, even though
Yeah, no,
He
he
is.
wasn't a fully bad human being. He,
And-
you know,
Even
just
Mrs.
flawed.
Cutler says in the boat scene, she says, "You've done nothing wrong," and then that's when he says, "I've killed her,"
Well, I
and now
killed
now he's done something wrong.
yeah.
He shouldn't have done that, obviously. But yeah, so there was a lot of sympathy for him.
Because she really lit up her room.
Yeah. Like a candle in Niagara. So
Candle.
the boat is going dangerously close to Niagara Falls. Now it's on. The police are trying to stop the boat, but unfortunately, have already gone over the line, much like a ship in Alien. They've gone too far, and they're coming back, and now their boat is on its own. And so as it's getting more and more close to the edge, there is this big rock that's kind of put out, and you see it right from the beginning. And Mr. Loomis is going to. It actually helps Miss Cutler. Make it to that rock, pushes her, knowing that he is sealed his fate, and he's
going over the
he's
falls.
gone. She's gonna need some jump. They can't just walk over there, so he needs that momentum. He's gonna give it his last go to save her life, throw her to the rock. She stumbles. This was there's several times in this movie, like Amy was saying, that it's intense. Where you're like, oh shit, like what's gonna?
This bitch is gonna fall off the fucking rock.
She does a great job selling that, because even though she makes it to the rock, it doesn't look like she's on it.
No.
But she is. She's saved, and you get to see probably a really cool moment, but then also ruined a little bit by this looks like a sci-fi effect where the boat goes over Niagara Falls.
It's a little toy.
Mr. Loomis is clearly in that boat when it's going over.
He dead.
We don't know his fate. People.
We don't. It would be a good
little stinger at the end.
Niagara 2.
His hand jumps out of the water.
Return of Loomis.
He's like, I'm still troubled. I'm still deeply sad.
I am.
The sequel is him being like
he became Dr. Loomis.
He became Dr.
I hear the sequel's a little watered down.
Hey-oh. They go to the Grand Canyon instead.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun.
Like, so gotta stop visiting national landmarks.
Helicopter comes in, saves Mrs. Cutler, pulls her up in the lawn chair string up into the helicopter.
That looked like fun, huh?
Did look like
fun. It looked really dangerous.
It did look really dangerous. She was really struggling to get on that chair.
I was like, that should have a seatbelt. And then I saw that it had like just a little
strap.
tie down with like a clip on it. And I was like, nah, that's insufficient.
For those of you old enough, think of a lawn chair from 1980.
Like the plastic weave one.
Yes, the weave ones. That's exactly what it is, with no arms or legs. It's just some straps. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Scary.
But everyone saved.
The end.
The end.
Something neat about this movie that we mentioned earlier, the 3-strip Technicolor. Do you guys know anything about that? Like how they had a camera that had a red, I think it's red, blue, green. The 3 strips go in, and then they projected, like they burn the images into that or photograph them. I don't know science. And then they combine the 3 strips to make a color film. And you have, like, in this movie, like when you watch it, especially if you watch it on a bigger screen, you can kind of see an outline, kind of like when you watch 3D without 3D glasses, because of that process. I think that's why they abandoned the process. But it's similar. I think they use the same stuff to do the color portions of Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
But it's just neat. I don't know. It just kind of blows my mind.
When you think there are some moments in this film where color plays a pretty big role in it, like Marilyn's dresses, the pink dress.
Yeah. Or that yellow scarf.
The yellow scarf. Yeah. The colors in the falls light up at a certain point at night that everyone wants to see, and the colors are incredibly vibrant. So color does play a major role.
It's weird because they shoot black and white onto these colored strips, which is the thing. I got to read more about this because it's just so, I don't know how the magic happens.
I don't understand how images are captured in any way, shape, or form.
I feel like a caveman sometimes.
It's so, I don't get it. I don't even get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've read all about, like, what was it, Lumiere who did the zoetrope?
Lumiere from
who did the zoetrope?
In France, we say
our
guest.
We are guest. Surface to the top.
Yeah, from the open that's another line I love that the guy says. In French we say olive oil. Gotta see the film. There you go.
Yeah.
That's in there.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you, Mikey, for bringing this to our attention.
Yeah.
I felt like it felt like an episode of Murder, She Wrote to me.
A little bit, but more
because Mrs. Cutler is basically Jessica Fletcher.
She's a little
busybody.
Yeah.
And things just happen to her all the time.
Yeah.
Like
it made
a lot
me
of
think
coincidences.
We've been watching
but she didn't
catching
visit
up
a
on
nephew, so
we've been catching up on Bates Motel, and
Yeah.
I feel like Bates Motel borrows a lot from these movies, these noir movies. Especially like this one in particular has almost the same vibe as that show.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar.
For sure. It's actually pretty interesting to me that the Hitchcock thing, I've never timelined that to think that maybe Hitchcock was influenced by this film too.
Well, his first movie was The Lodger.
Wasn't it? It was actually
The
something.
20s. Well, the Pleasure Garden came out after the Lodger.
IMDb says something about him making a movie in 1923 called Number 13.
No, he was for sure making movies before this, but
Yeah.
Vertigo came after. So.
Right, which you can see some.
Yeah.
I would have thought that
Was
the
this
alright.
director
silent?
Okay, so
Well, it's like the chicken and the egg thing.
He made a
Hulu Films
silent
too.
movie called
Yeah.
Number 13, a comedy.
Andu,
22.
Since we're doing this in birthday order, you are next on the list. Have you thought about what your movie's gonna
Yes. It's like it's for my mother,
be? Uh-huh.
and we didn't really have like that connection through movies, but I just wanted to pick a movie that just reminded me of my mother.
Mhm.
So it's the movie called Mother, the
Mama.
Korean horror type thriller horror from
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
Did your
I don't
mom
think I've seen
scare
it.
you?
No, but it just it just brought up memories of
Oh,
what
okay.
a Asian mother is like.
Yeah.
It's
All
just
right.
called Mother.
Yeah.
Mother.
It's a Korean movie from like
Mother.
5-6 years ago.
All right, I'm in. Are we
Yeah.
gonna be terrified of your mother?
Yes.
Very-
You're
the very
gonna be
thought?
terrified of this 4'8"
Yeah.
little tiny woman.
Aw, 4'8" for real?
4'9", 4'8". She was a little
Mother.
beady little
So
thing.
she was George, or not George, but Mr. Cutler sized.
Yeah.
He wasn't that little.
Dressed in wool.
He was pretty little.
I'm picking
Oh.
the Danzig song, Mother.
Tell your children not to rock my way. Tell your children to stay off my lawn.
All right, well, we did it, you guys.
We did it.
Thanks again to our patrons: William Fama, Blake Heath, Mark Watts, Michael Powell, Jeremy Burmeister, Elise Wallace, Amanda James, Ernest Perez, and Jim Bolding. All of our Beelzebubs, thank you so much.
It's
You
awesome.
and our other
Beelzebubs.
patrons. We are at, I think, 51, 52 patrons last time I checked.
Patrons.
Patrons from Patreon. And thank you so much. You made this possible. Please check out the Patreon for a discussion of Alien Covenant, the revisit of Film Mad Society, NOTLP Origins, which are all the classic episodes that we used to give you on an archive DVD, are now going to be patron content.
Patron.
And Mikey's show's coming out soon. That's
Mhm.
Higher
I'm
Love.
gonna try to maybe do one next week. So
Perfect.
please be patient.
And Amy High Five Happy Hour tomorrow.
Yeah, me and Kelly and Slide.
And I haven't talked to Andy yet, but I'm hoping that he'll do
I've got
a
nothing,
porner.
guys.
I'm hoping you'll do the porner as a spinoff.
It just confirms my bottom of the totem pole
God,
position.
I hate you so much.
Porner.
All right.
Andy's going to watch more pornography. We're going to burden him with
I
that.
can't
Next
watch
week.
anymore as much as I do already.
Thanks everybody for giving love. Give and
Yeah,
get.
I was like,
Love,
give and
live,
get some love.
laugh.
I was so
Um,
like kind of surprised at how fast we met our goal. It was very
Yeah.
touching.
Yeah.
How people came out for us.
Meant a lot.
It's incredibly motivating, too.
It's really
Like,
gives me a lot of anxiety though.
it's okay. People
Yeah.
are doing this because they love what you're doing.
Yeah, but
Great
I'm not worth it.
expectations.
And I'm
You
thinking
are worth
about
it.
like all the nicer drugs we can buy with all this money.
Oh,
Oh, the nicer
Yeah.
drugs.
Designer. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Give and get love.
severed human head, and they enjoy